Hello and welcome to Ludi Tonight on Saturday, August 3rd, 2023. We have a triple header today on Ludi Tonight. We have a Division 7 quarterfinal set at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have a Division 3 semifinal set. And then ending our night off at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have a Division 9A week quarterfinal set. Wow. I am your host today. My name is We Like Rice, or most people just call me Rice. But I think I need to lower the sound a little bit. But we'll get into our first set today, the Division 7 set. I'll give it to our two commentators today, Six and Imad. Take it away.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Ludi Tonight. We are getting close to the finals here. We are in our playoffs, and I think as Rice mentioned, we are in our quarterfinals tonight. And we do have quite the lineup for today. Six, what can you tell us about these two teams?
I believe we have Krill Switch versus, I want to say, Zephyus. And what we know about Krill Switch is that they are the last Oceanic team in Ludi. Krill Switch's favorite mode is Clam Blitz, which is depicted in their logo. Krill Switch won the most recent Mug Cup, number 16. They are extremely close to winning FTIU with 2 third-place finishes and 4 separate top 8 placements. Ooh. Meat Boy is the team's mascot and is famous in the Oceanic scene for playing sploosh and flanking a lot. So I'm gonna have to look that person up. Gonna get some tips from them.
Ooh, yes. I think we're both gonna be looking forward to some potential sploosh gameplay. As a sploosh man yourself, I know you're definitely more experienced with how that works than I do, but that is fantastic to watch.
Yes, I'm really excited to see it, actually. You don't meet a lot of other sploosh players. I think because the weapon is really niche and just... I don't know. I feel like it's not as celebrated as maybe being a Charger main is, because it is so different of a shooter.
I think just like there's a lot of work that goes into making the sploosh work. You know, like Charger, I think you mentioned it is also a lot of work to be able to kind of work with it. But you're right. The sploosh just does not get the amount of love that a lot of other niche weapons get. So we need to spread the awareness. And then the other team, I am working to pronounce their name as well. Zephyus? I think.
Zephyus? I say Zephyus.
Zephyus?
You gotta put pronunciation keys with these names, people. How do we figure out how to pronounce X letters?
If it's like the Chinese pronunciation, it's like Shifius? Shifius? That sounds a little bit more pronounceable to me.
Maybe people are saying in the Twitch chat and we just can't see.
I do know that they're a newer team, but I've been individually been playing Splatoon for a while.
Did you see our pal, our boy Sluggy is in there?
Ayo.
Sluggy's on that team. See Sluggy.
Ayo.
The celebrated Tri-Springer main. I think now Wellspring main.
Yeah, speaking of bows are also kind of that requires a lot of work to make viable, but just are not as appreciated as they could be. Like if you're able to get good with sploosh, able to get good at bow, just you get some really amazing plays coming out, and so this is going to be quite the matchup for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I want to see how a Springer does against the sploosh, because I know me as a sploosh main, I have a lot of trouble with Springers, especially Wellspring because it paints so well, and you can just really aim at wherever the sploosh is and kind of stop them in their tracks. But I'm guessing a really well-seasoned sploosh player will understand that and will know how to play around it much better than I do.
That's right. I think one of the key things for sploosh is just being able to understand the maps really well, being able to know where the good the avenues are, and know where the enemy team wants to set up, so you can make sure to come at an angle where they're not really expecting you.
Definitely. Ooh, I'm excited. Do we know the map modes for this? Will we? Oh, we're about to. Look at this. Mako Mart is game 1 clams.
Oh, this is definitely going to be Krill Switch's set tonight. We have 3 modes of Clam Blitz. We're going to be kicking off, in fact, with Clam Blitz, as you said, on Mako Mart. So this is definitely, I think, one of Sploosh's more, I guess, stronger maps. But I don't know. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. I have a lot of fun as Sploosh on this map, just getting into the enemy's hallway, the breakfast, some people call it, and then getting behind the enemy plat, just sharking around, just being a little bit chaotic, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think like this definitely lends itself because it's a bit of open space in the middle, but because of how many just routes and like just mounts of cover there are, it does lend itself to some of those more shorter range weapons. And so the bow, I think, is unique in that it can get around a lot of those obstacles with its arc, but a lot of other weapons like splatlings and chargers, those kind of like straightforward backlines tend to struggle a bit more.
Ooh, I just recognized D-Jam, I think, is on Krill Switch. I believe that's D-Jam of TOing fame of It's Dangerous to Go Alone, perhaps?
Mm-hmm. I think we did a commentary for them at one point.
We did. So now we've got favoritism on both sides.
Oh yeah. In fact, DJ messaged me like a couple minutes ago, say, "Hey, you better rep me good tonight."
now I'm stuck. How do I love Sluggy and also D-Jam at the same time? I don't think I can. I think it's impossible.
Well, that's how they keep you biased. As long as you're biased in both directions, you're therefore unbiased.
That's so true. You just have to love everyone. You have to love both sides.
Exactly. And
I'm
speaking
okay
of,
with that.
gonna be hopping right into it. Ooh, okay, so we do see. Okay, okay.
Ooh, a decaf.
I was
on
talking
the side
about.
of Zephyus.
Interesting. Okay, so I was gonna just point out, like, yeah, we have Sluggy on the Wellspring as we were talking about before, but also the double bucket again, just that kind of arc shot style weapons. They can get around a lot of the cover that Sploosh is gonna want to look at. So they are definitely gonna have to be very careful when approaching. And speaking of, we do see Meat Boy on that Sploosh Sharky looking for that opportunity. Because if they're able to get up that right corridor, that alleyway, they can just make a beeline right for the back line.
Ooh, they do get a pick here. I see that Meat Boy here was waiting for that opportunity. They do get taken down, though, by Sluggy on the Wellstring. We see Jose here on the left trying to get further into the enemy area, but they get pushed back. There's just a little too much paint on the side of Krill Switch. They do get a few specials off here, but they're not able to make much of them.
They must be wanting to use that the decapitator for that bubbler, because the bubbler is set up right underneath the basket. It makes for an excellent play right there, and we do see I go again. Zephyus? Zephyus.
You gotta commit.
They got that underneath. They got the first power clam open. They didn't really get any follow up with that, but that is just gonna allow them to like kind of set up for the long term with that bubbler. Because I was just about to say that it doesn't play quite as well with ledges as does like the regular scamper. But Meat Boy, nice flank from the back, getting the ball open. They do unfortunately go 3 down, but the jump, can they make it in?
That was such a lovely sploosh play. I applaud that. Oh my goodness, that was so good that they were just able to get right behind where the enemy was expecting and able to get that clam. I didn't know you could get that clam in the basket from behind it like that. So I learned something today. Thank you, Meat Boy.
Taking notes, picking up some tips, but but already like they got the 3 power clams in and they already have Zephyus 3 down. They got a lot of map control on their side of the map, so there wasn't really any room for a counterplay, but I say that as 3 of Krill Switch goes down in the process, so now they're going to be putting on another push for the basket once again.
We see the bubble come out from Jose. They are trying to keep paint here right in front of the enemy basket. They're not seeing many picks here, though. They are trying to be aggressive, but there's just too much paint on the side of Krill Switch. We're seeing now in mid here, Krill Switch does have a power clam to their name. Oh, somebody got one in. Krill Switch able to get it in. I'm guessing the sploosh with his hammer, maybe? Able to make another aggressive play. They get some more clams in here, and the power clam is... Oh, I heard it get thrown, but it didn't get in the basket quite yet.
Not quite able to get through the penalty points. They were able to chew through it quite a bit, but just no more points on the board. Still, just the fact that they're able to get so many of them in means that they're going to have another opportunity later. But already Zephyus is on the counterattack, going to be putting another paraclam in, but we just have to follow up. There's just a lot of blue from the basket right now.
I think Krill Switch is learning how to take advantage of their weapon comp here, just getting enough paint on the ground to stop Zephyus from moving forward. They were able to get a power climb in, but not able to get many more points off of that push. Jose here with the bubble, trying to build a power climb here. They're able to. They get one in, and they're protected by that bubble. Good for them. They do get a few more in here. Ooh, looks like we're having a little trouble with the camera right now. There we
So
go.
close to getting that lead, but just falling short of it. And I think you nailed it right on the head there. Just the fact that Krill Switch able to just put a little bit of paint on the ground to kind of stop this rather unique comp right here, because we have the double bucket, we have the wellspring, and just that on its own, and even though like with the addition of the sword, it's just difficult to be able to get enough paint to kind of move around. So even if just a little bit gets thrown out by the double shooter comp, they're kind of stuck in their tracks until they can get a pick.
E-Man here, we see them on the left side, just kind of sharping, trying to get this inkjet here. Ooh, they're able to make a trade. We see Jazz with this power clam and their pencil trying to move up a little bit, trying to get some paint on the ground. Meat Boy again with the sploosh, getting that hammer out, getting more space. They do get taken down though. Another power clam goes in the enemy basket. Ooh, and another one goes in to seal this first game.
Am I imagining things, or did they just chuck in like 3 power clams in a row there?
I saw the 2. I saw the one that initially broke it, and then the last one. There must have been a third one to get all those points down so quickly.
No, right, because they had 40 points and then 15 penalty. They threw the 1 to break it, and so that would have gotten it down to 35, but then they were down to 15 right at the end there. Just that allowed for that last power clam to get the knockout. So yeah, there must have been like a second power clam within that second jump.
Such quick movement from the side of Krill Switch. It was so quick that we could barely process what was happening. They were just able to get all the clams in there so quickly, take advantage of that one hammer play from the sploosh, getting so close to the basket, able to throw it in. Ooh, we're seeing it again here, just making the play. They don't even necessarily go for the picks here. They just go for the paint, going for taking control of the area, and that's enough that they were able to get this win at the end.
That is like a legacy cheese cracking mode, but with hammer. Just getting enough of a pressure to get underneath the basket and then just get the clams in. And with so many clams in their back pocket, they're able to just chuck them all in and get the KO right then and there.
I'm telling you, as a sploosh player, that is like any sploosh player's dream, to be able to make a play like that, to be able to get in so efficiently with the hammer, and to be able to clear the way for the rest of the teammates to get the points, to win the game like that. It's just, it was so well executed. I'm so happy for Krill Switch to be able to make plays like that.
Now, I love something else that you mentioned about that sploosh play, is just the fact that how quick they were to respond. Like, even when Ziphia's got that first push going, that sploosh was already around the backside to get the other clam in, and they got a double power clam. No, there's like 2 or 3 power clams in that push too to get it down to 40 to begin with, and it was all because that sploosh was able to get around before they could even get set up. And I think that is like one of the strongest points of the sploosh, is not necessarily that they have a lot of presence, but the fact they're able to respawn so quickly and just get at the enemy before they have time to set up.
Yeah, the movement of the sploosh to be able to get behind there so quickly before the enemy could really respond to it. Like, they did get picked off, they did get taken out, but because they were back there and they were able to get that first power clam in, that allowed the rest of the team to get the rest of the points. So you just got to be sneaky as a sploosh, and that's what Meat Boy did.
Absolutely. Now, I think one of the things that we saw there, Ziphia's, they had a really good kind of like game plan there. With the bubbler on that sword, they were trying to get underneath the basket, able to hold it out long enough to get clams in. But I think, like you mentioned before, just the fact that they had kind of like a paint lacking comp, they just got themselves stuck if they weren't able to get a splat or two. And I think that just kind of like turned the tables for them there at the end.
All right, we're seeing, the Sexflow come out from the side of Ziphius. That's another double bucket comp, but it's a different bucket now. Let's see how this plays out against a similar comp from Krill Switch, although I think some of the weapons switched up from Krill Switch's side.
I do, yeah. So the Krill Switch, they were running that vanilla Tri-Slosher with the Poison Mist and the Inkjet, but now they're going to be rocking just the vanilla Slosher with that Ink Strike, which is going to be pretty handy for not only just getting the zone back, but just putting a lot of pressure, especially considering they have that Wellspring Explode combo. That range and chip damage is going to be quite the force to reckon with if they're not careful, so just having that in their back pocket. But it is going to be Ziphia's with the first zone cap and just really putting on the pressure. Even though they are running kind of a double midline / backline comp, they're still getting right up in Krillfish's face.
Yeah, Krill Switch here able to get the zone neutralized. They're in control of the zone now. They are moving forward with Meat Boy on that Ultra Stamp. They are just painting now on this left side, just keeping the space. Zippy is trying to get forward. They are dropping down. They are trying to get their space back, but I just don't think it's safe right now. Meat Boy is right here. Meat Boy is the threat here. Being sneaky as the Sploosh, getting behind the enemy, making them stop going forward as they are.
I think that's such a good play by Meeple, because I think this map is not generally very Sploosh friendly. It relies a lot on your teammates to be able to get in to begin with, but once they do set in, there are just so many little sneaky spots for it to set up, and I think they just play that so well, just keeping them distracted. Krill Switch getting down to 25 right here, still trying to get that KO. Ziphias is fighting for it though. They're just taking on fights right here, and with 2 members down and the jump coming in, it is going to flip the zone back in their favor.
Yeah, looks like 3 members are up on the side of Ziphius now. They are in mid. They do have it in control. They are trying to hold it, though. Not able to get much more forward than they are right now. Krill Switch is pretty aggressive. We see the Zuka come out. Not able to get a pick, though. Ziphius still really in control of mid here.
And I think, like, both the Sploosh and the Pencil, like, they do really well with that support right there, but they have to get the shot and the bucket in to be able to really put on pressure to retake the zone. And because that Ziphias is doing such a good job of taking down those 2 players first, like, they don't have really a way in, so that's going to be the lead stop right here, and still a lot of yellow paint for Ziphias right here. And just 3 members down of Krill Switch, like, the last member is going to be a wipeout right at the 10-second mark. That's going to be game right there. Just not a whole lot they can do. And the drip pit comes out, bringing it up to a 1-1 score.
Wow. We're going to be seeing a game 9 in this matchup. I'm calling it now.
Oh, I would have to agree with you there. Like, that was pretty tight near the beginning, but I think once Ziphias got that kind of momentum rolling, they just ran away with it.
They were able to keep that paint down really well. And like I was saying, they didn't push much more forward than mid there. I think because they had a lot of range, they really didn't need to. But enough of their players, it looks like that bucket there, the Sex Flow, was able to get picks from the ground, and with that range, just keep Krill Switch from getting any more forward.
I think because, again, the Pencil Sploosh combo, the Pencil doesn't really have the ability to take fights. It can only hold a lot of space, so if you just stay a little bit out of the range, all they can do is sit there and try to poke at you. And the Sploosh is like the opposite problem. It has not a whole lot of range, so without the teammates, it was just rather difficult for them to contest it. And as you said, the X-Blow and that Wellspring just played the range game the whole match and just stayed just enough to stay out of the Pencil's way.
Yeah, I feel like in a mode like Zones, it really favors the range comp, because you really only have to hold mid. You don't have to go more forward than that. And if that's what we can keep playing with Ziphius here, I think they're gonna take they're gonna win.
Oh, absolutely. I think, like, that's the tricky part, in fact, is like Ziphias, they did lose control of the zone. Like, they had a comp really well suited to holding a lot of space for a long period of time, but it was the fact that they were able to get back in, even with Meat Boy on the Sploosh up in their base like that. They were still able to kind of break out and just not get bogged down by how aggressive Ziphias was near the end, or I'm sorry, Killstreak was during their push.
Definitely. All right, I know the next map mode is going to be Rainmaker on Scorched Gorge. Ooh, that might also favor range. If you keep the mid held by all of the ranged weapons like the Sex Flow, like the Wellspring, that could be strong for Ziphias.
I think definitely having the Wellstring is gonna play a lot into Ziphias' favor. Just the fact that the DPS on that bow is incredible, especially against a Rainmaker shield. I don't really see as well. I have been surprised before, but just the Expo, because of how wide the map is a little bit easier to kind of like just get around the Expo shot, just because it has a very concentrated fire. It has a very concentrated paint. I think with how Barnacle and Dynamo was, the choke points really lend itself to the X-Blow, but we'll see what they decide to bring out here. I think if they decide to go that bucket comp again, they're going to have to find something to counteract their paint deficiency.
Ooh, okay. See the blaster come out from Ziphias.
Ooh, okay. And then Krill Switch bringing out the double shot comp. Who did they swapped out their bucket, so they are definitely going for the paint attack right here.
Yeah, and as we're seeing here, Krill Switch able to get to mid pretty quickly, although Xiphius is also quickly painting it up, stopping Krill Switch from getting any more forward. Ooh, we see all of Xiphius on the left side there. Ooh, but they get the picks there. 2 are down on the side of Krill Switch now, and Xiphius has control of the Rainmaker. They are moving forward. They get 3 down off of Krill Switch. They are trying to hold this ramp here, but they're not able to get any more forward. We see bombs getting thrown. We see specials getting built up, but they're having trouble finding anyone on Xiphius now. They are falling back after that Rainmaker push.
Excellent play by Jose there, not only getting the 2 down, but just like pushing up, opening up such a good play for the Rainmaker. But unfortunately, there is going to be just the pedestal taken here, but there's still quite a bit of map for Xiphius to work with those range drops. Trying to find a splat somewhere, but he's not able to with the range of that Rainmaker. But ooh, here comes the 52 once again, trying to go for the Rainmaker, takes down the teammate, but unfortunately gets taken down themselves.
Ooh, we see the Kraken on the side of Xiphius here take down the Rainmaker carrier, getting another pick off of Meat Boy. Krill Switch is aiming their chargers at that Rainmaker, but they're not able to pop it. We see the Blaster, we see the Bucket getting these picks. Ooh, another goes down on the side of Xiphius. They are trying to push up though. We see Jose here trying to get space on the enemy's side, but the Rainmaker's behind them. Nobody has it popped yet. Nobody's pushing it forward.
I think like both of these teams, like they're just kind of fighting for whoever can get the more map control for the Slayers, because you know we see Xiphius, they have the range blast and the Tri-Slosher. They're not that paint efficient on their own, but having the 52 to kind of like lead the charge, they can follow up with that. But at the same time, like Krill Switch, they're really looking for space for their Sploosh to work with, but just aren't able to with how aggressive things are going. And right now, Xiphius bringing it down to 45, which is the Zook going to be stopping them in the tracks.
Wow, Xiphius with that Rainmaker carrier just able to dodge. They dodged Krill Switch's Trizuka there. They were able to hold it that long. But as they come back in this left side here, we see the Kraken come out. They are trying to push it forward a little bit more, but this pencil is really just aimed at them. Ooh, we see the Kraken ending now, but ooh, they are just pushing it up little by little. They're able to hold the space here, and Xiphius is just able to get more points.
Yeah, they're able to just keep a member alive and keep the jumps coming in. They're just keeping the pressure on. They are not letting that Rainmaker reset at all. But with the strikes coming out and just the amount of paint that's right there, they are going to have to force to back up. But still, they are up in their faces right now, trying to find that lead. If the pencil's not careful, they could get flanked from behind. That shot taken on the 52 and does get taken down. They're going to have to drop it here just to stay safe. There's just so much pressure coming out from that 52.
We see all 4 members of Krill Switch up, but as I said that, the Sploosh does get taken down. It is even with teammates now, although 3 get taken down now for Krill Switch. Xiphius in a good position to push this Rainmaker forward once more. They take the enemy ramp. Ooh, another goes down from Krill Switch. Where did they even come from? Where did they go? Oh, we see the pencil aiming at this Rainmaker carrier now. They are pushing it forward ever so slightly. They are at 27. Ooh, let's see if they can get it popped, but Krill Switch looks like they're on top of it right now.
Indeed. Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? There's just so much yellow in mid right now. Like Krill Switch, they have the Rainmaker and they're trying to push out, but just aren't able to find that leverage that they want, and just they haven't even gotten past the first checkpoint yet. And just because of how fast that Xiphius is able to recover and kind of push things out, but Meat Boy, hoping to return the favor, gets 2 right there, looking for a third, and is not able to find them. But they are 3 down now, so this is going to be what Krill Switch is looking for, kind of the first time they're able to have a good advantage.
Ooh, we see the trade with Meat Boy there. 3 are up on both sides here. We see Krill Switch with this Rainmaker carrier. We see the Trizuka come out, trying to get more space, trying to get more picks. Maybe they're going to get the pedestal right here as they keep inching forward, trying to get closer and closer. Ooh, but Xiphius is being pretty aggressive now. We see all the paint come out, all the bombs come out. Ooh, there's specials on both sides now, just trying to get this a little bit more forward.
They get the lead. They get the lead by 1. They are going to be taking 3 down here, but Krill Switch able to sneak in with those tri-strikes and a whole lot of blue map to work with. Xiphius is going to be cleaning up as fast as they can. 15 seconds left in this match here, but Krill Switch, it is time to lock this down. They can't afford to really let Xiphius break through again. And the nice splat right there, the Tri-Slosher and the Wellspring going to be taken down. The Meat Boy just going to be contesting the Rainmaker pop and not letting them get anywhere near it.
Wow, that was a good ultra stamp on the side of Krill Switch right there, just protecting that Rainmaker from getting picked up once more by Ziphius. And this one will go to Krill Switch.
Man, I think we are definitely going to be seeing this taken at least. I definitely see this going to a game 9. Just once again, Krill Switch, they were on the ropes
By
for so
one!
long.
They won by
By
one!
one!
That's so... Oh, that's bananas, man.
It's just they were on the ropes for so long in the match, but just it took like one really good engagement, one kind of like breakaway to turn the tables on them, and just they were able to lock it down afterwards. Like they got a whole lot of map control and just were able to get in. Meat Boy coming in with that hammer, getting the 2 down. I must have been a bomb that snuck in on them, but they just very well played right at the end there.
I was gonna say I don't even think it was that strong of a push start. Just Meat Boy was able to kind of worm their way in there and get the points that they needed.
No, absolutely. Just like they saw the opportunity, they saw the strikes coming out, and then instead of hesitating, they just kind of went for it. And they could have been taken down, especially with the pencil looking at them. It could have gone either way. It could have been incredibly detrimental, but they were able to just sneak in for that one little point that they needed, and they were able to just hold it for that last couple of seconds.
Definitely. I know Ziphius has proven to us that they're able to keep paint on the ground pretty well, and something with a sploosh just moves so quickly, like we were saying in the first match. They just had the littlest bit of paint to move forward, and that's all they needed.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I also saw like they did, rather than having Sluggy, no, I'm sorry, it was their pencil player, rather than having their backline with the Rainmaker carrier, they opted to have Meat Boy, their Sploosh player, be the Rainmaker carrier. And that was kind of smart, because although Sploosh does it pretty well, I think when it comes to Rainmaker, you kind of want to have that range to be able to contest, to be able to push forward a little bit. And especially if that pencil hadn't popped cooler yet, you really want that cooler engaged for when you're carrying the Rainmaker, especially for little point moves like that.
That's fair. I know as a Sploosh player, I'm usually told to not grab the Rainmaker carrier, to use my hammer to build to help the momentum forward. But I think Meat Boy may have used it already, and maybe that's why they picked up the Rainmaker. I'm not sure. But just not having that hammer at the ready, they probably were the best person to pick it up.
All right, it really does come down to the situation. Like you said, Meat Boy, they did break open the opening. They got the 2 down, and we saw them try to get that third member with the hammer. So they did already kind of open up the way for them to get the checkpoint, so they didn't have that special in hand. But when they had the strikes come out, they really did want to just try to play for that cooler right at the end.
All right, we're seeing the next map mode be Tower Control and Hagglefish Market. How do you feel about this, IMAD?
This is a tough one. I feel like this is going to be this is definitely the map mode to bring out the Slosher trifecta again. Like with the amount of because of the hallway kind of esque of this map, and then the fact that you have the nice cover in the middle, and also on top of that is tower control. You do just benefit from all that tip damage. So we are going to be seeing the Range Flasher coming out along with Sluggy. But Meat Boy swapping to the Luna Blaster instead of that Sploosh.
What? A Luna Blaster with the zip? That'll be interesting to see. I wonder if that's because Hagglefish is a pretty good like zipcaster map. There's a lot of places to attach to get forward, to kind of be a menace to the enemy team. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out here.
I know Zipcaster does pretty well for a Rainmaker because you can target the Rainmaker carrier, but I wonder if the same logic applies for the tower, especially if you're just trying to take control of the tower. I think we can attest from your experience that Sploosh is a little bit more difficult to use with tower just because of how tall the tower is. It's just right out of Sploosh's range.
Yeah, definitely agreed. I have a lot of trouble using hammer when it's tower control because you can't really hammer the tower. You can, but it's not the optimal way to be using your ultra stamp. We see here Krill Switch in control of mid here. Nobody has touched the tower yet, though. Oh, they have just now. Not pushing it forward too much, though, as all 4 members of Ziphius are there in mid. They are up. Only 1 left on Krill Switch. It's in control of Ziphius now. They are pushing up. They are trying to get their specials out, that screen out, trying to move forward.
Yeah, all members, both of the members of both sides were just trying to find those splats. They were just in a locked battle right there. Just no one wants to get on the tower. And again, the Luna Blasts are just coming and getting those splats. Two members of both sides are down. Make that 3 on the side of Curl Switch. DJ trying to hold it down, but Ziphius is just locking in on that tower, just really bringing this, trying to get them going.
Wow, that was 3 down inside of Curl Switch there. Ziphius is able to hold that tower so well. It's interesting to me because I feel like they relied so much on their range earlier, but it doesn't seem to be so much here. As long as Sluggy is that anchor on the tower, Krill Switch just cannot touch them.
I think that's a very well executed push right there. I think, especially having locking down the right side there, they really identified that tent, which is usually the main point of defense for those first 2 checkpoints. They just didn't let them touch that. They just couldn't get close enough to the tower to stop it.
Could this get any more close? Seriously, 2v2 already.
They were upset by the close match from the last time and said, you know what, we're just going to take it all the way here.
Exactly. They were not going to give Krill Switch an inch. They just KO'd as quickly as they can, and as quickly as they could coordinate all of their specials, all of their sub abilities together to be able to make this push, to be able to make this work.
And I think we saw here in this replay, like, they did such a good job of keeping Krill Switch staggered. And I think that's what you want for a tower control, is just making sure the other team can't mount a defense. And they just made sure that they didn't have a unified front. They were all just coming in one by one, and they were able to just 2v1, 3v1 them every single time. And just like kind of contrast to how that match started, it was very chaotic because you saw no one just wanted to touch the tower. But once the dust kind of settled, Ziphius was able to just really regroup and just steamroll forward.
I'm excited for Game 5 being another Clams map mode.
Ooh, yes.
Just for Meat Boy on that Sploosh again. Ooh, I love me Sploosh on Crab Leg. There's just so many ways to get behind the enemy, up on those grates or on that left side. Just, oh, it's a lot of fun. I'm excited to watch it. But I'm wondering if Ziphius is going to be able to hold their own against, the Sploosh on this map. They're able to be anchors really well. I think they're able to hold their space very well. But I think once Krill Switch starts their momentum going, starts sharking more, starts getting those cheeky picks, then they can win the game, and Ziphius really doesn't know how to rebuild from there.
I think it comes down to kind of what we were talking about before. Like, we were playing Crab Leg earlier, but with Rainmaker, and I think some of the same map design applies here. We have that left side jump, which is the flank, and then we have the main side up the ramp and up the grates. If Krill Switch, if they're able to really draw the attention to that main ramp, to that right side, that does present such a good opening for that Sploosh to kind of get behind them when they're not expecting it. But that being said, we have to watch out for Sluggy's bow, and that is going to be quite crucial. It doesn't do quite as well as the pencil does because of all the grading, but it's still going to be a force to reckon with because of how the choke point for the basket works.
I'm seeing comments on Twitch that maybe Meat Boy is not going to use Sploosh here. I wonder if maybe we'll see the Luna Blaster again. I'm not sure. I would use a Sploosh here, but I use a Sploosh everywhere. So
99 Sploosh, 1% Arrow Spray.
Exactly. I'm still upset about that. I almost had 100% Sploosh usage in this past 3 months, but one time I play an Arrow Spray, and the Nintendo won't let me forget it.
This completely ruins your streak.
Exactly. Ruined my life.
Oh, I think they actually swapped someone out on the side of Krill Switch.
We see a Hydra? Excuse
Ayo.
me?
Smoking it with the Hydra right here, and combining it with Sluggy's bow as well. They're going for that double backline comp that we saw earlier, but very impressive that they're going to choose to run it against a pencil at that. I'm curious to see how they play out, and they're going to be rocking the Sploosh and Splash. So Hammer Crab combo for the side of Krill Switch. Definitely going to be a very interesting matchup.
We see one go down on the side of Ziphius already. Both sides trying to take mid here. Both got a lot of paint on the ground already, though. We see the subs come out. We see one screen come out on the side of Ziphius as they try and push forward here, but they're just not getting a lot of momentum. They do have a lot of clams, though. They're trying to push forward, but Ooh, they just don't have a great opening right now. 2 are down on the side of Ziphius now. We see Krill Switch moving forward a little bit more. Ooh, Meat Boy does have the Sploosh here moving up the ramp, but they just don't have the clams to do a good push.
That's always the downfall of a good clam push. Even if you get the splash, if you don't have the clams to back it up, it just lends to the enemy team respawning and regrouping. But we do see Meatboy did try to go for the basket, did get shut down. James here with the crab looking for a splat, does take out the slosher, but at this point, just with the backline respawn and locking things down, they're gonna have to regroup and look for specials again to try to get in.
Yeah, I think they just took a little too long with that push there. They did have the space, but they didn't have the clams, and once they went back for the clams, Ziphius had rebuilt their defense already. We see E-Man here in the mid with their bucket trying to get a pick, getting paint on the ground. They do get 1 pick. They do try to move a little bit more forward, but it doesn't seem like Ziphius has a lot of clams to their name right now. Sluggy does, but Sluggy is not the forward person on this team.
Down to training with James right there. Oh, the Slosher getting 1, so we are even out at 2v2. Ziphia's doing a good job of holding paint right now, but just neither team is really able to find an opening to that basket right now. Oh, the clan or oh, hold on. We see the mines coming out of the Hydra. They are running a double screen comp right here, really looking to just limit the visibility of the crab and of the pencil coming up from Krill Switch.
I'm actually kind of amazed that seems to be working right now. I wouldn't have thought Screen would be so powerful, but I guess the visibility is so very necessary with Krill Switch needing to be sharking all the time, needing to be sneaky, but oh, that's 2 screens at the same time even. Amazing.
Oh my god. See, we were talking about like drawing the attention to the main ramp here, and here we go. E-Man coming in from the left side, getting a flank, bringing it down to 3, getting another one, trying to look for Cooler, but is not able to pop it in time. Jazzy are just doing a good job of locking things down while their team respawns, but once again, just like it's those plays like that, because of how limited the movement is in the middle, if you throw like 1 or 2 screens down like that, just there's not a whole lot of space for Krill Switch to work with.
I'm amazed that we're seeing from both sides here, able to take a lot of space, able to push up to the enemy ramp, but they almost seem to be forgetting that the main point of this game mode is that you need clams. And once they get so far forward, they're just kind of stuck. They have no way forward. They can't do anything. We do see Ziphius here, though, with this power clam trying to get up the ramp, but at the same time, Krill Switch just sees them, takes them out right away, getting these picks, stopping them from getting that power clam in.
It's almost like just like a, I don't know, missed time right there. So like they get like the splash and they get the flanking, but just the rest of the team not quick enough to kind of follow up with that. And by the time they get up, their front line has been taken down. But it doesn't seem to matter. Like again, every time that they make a push or if they try to make a counter push, it just gets counter pushed again.
Gosh, this is a 4-minute stalemate here that we're watching. We see James in mid here trying to get a little more forward, trying to get picks, but they get taken out by the range of Ziphius again. They are just holding mid here. They have a few clams to their name, but they're just not really pushing forward right now. They're just trying to hold space.
I think the fact that this match is going on so long is a test to how well that the Pencil and the Hydra are doing this thing. Like we see here, Smoking just locking these down. If they're sitting right where they're sitting right here, you cannot approach them unless you can get behind them. If they see you, there's just no way to get to them. The same goes for that Pencil on the other side. Just that's how well that they're doing to stay alive and just keeping the space that they have.
Wow, both sides have so much paint on the ground. We see the Zuka shots come off from the side of Krill Switch. They're not able to get any picks here. They're just trying to keep mid painted, trying to keep that control. They do have a lot of clams. Their Sploosh has a lot of them. Oh, looks like they're giving them all to their Splattershot player. Red Eye here with this power clam, but they are pushed all the way back to their ramp. With the screen coming out from Ziphius, they really just can't push forward right now.
The Slosher working really well with that screen. They're just pushing in when they gets popped right here. But Sluggy going to be taken out by the crap here. James going to be trying to find some space in. But Jesse or Jose just really coming in. They just don't have the clam. But the jump's coming out. Is that going to be the power clam of the match? That's going to be game right there.
My
Krill
gosh.
Switch sneaking it in right in the overtime.
Wow. They were just able to sneak one person in there. I don't know who they snuck up that ramp. My money's going on Meat Boy.
I couldn't tell. I saw that the crab came out. They took down Sluggy, but then the splash, they made a ramp for it. We just didn't see if they were able to survive long enough to get there, but someone got the climb in, someone got the jump, and that's just all it took. After 5 minutes of not being able to score, the one final clam was what did the trick.
I'm trying to watch here. I'm trying to see who is the one that gets forward. We do see that Crab come out. We see the rest of Krill Switch just kind of pushed back there. I don't know who's the one that gets forward.
Sploosh is taking out Meat Boy is respawning. James is fighting the Hydra over on that left side there. All three of them are just locking out backs against the 52. And then we see Meat Boy going with the jump. It must have been the splash that got in just enough for them to get to the basket. And of course, with Meat Boy, how fast and slippery they are, able to just slide and get all the way up into the basket.
Goodness. Just you really do got to make the last minute plays there, especially when you're in overtime. It doesn't matter how you get the power climb in there, as long as you do, you win the match.
I think both teams, like, they did get a good job of like really playing a good game. It was like when you get into overtime, that's when you start to panic a little bit, start to just kind of like, okay, we need to do something now. This is when you start to take more riskier plays. And I think they just lost sight of the splash right at the end there, just enough for them to once again get that jump in, and just weren't able to respond in time.
It did get a little messy at the end there, got a little chaotic, but Krill Switch was able to hold it together in order to get that point. Goodness,
Nice.
There's so much back and forth.
No, yeah, just like absolutely no gains at all. And I think they were getting a lot of good engagements from both sides. They were winning a lot of fights, but just couldn't quite get it past the finish line.
All right, we're seeing Game 6, Map Mode, Splat Zones on Robo Ramen.
This is one of my personal favorite map modes. It is both a good blaster map and a good splatter map, and I think you've really enjoyed playing Sploosh on this as well.
Yes, I like waiting underneath like the main platform for the enemy team to try and go up the walls and just like, picking them off. That's fun for me. That kind of sharking.
It's like, it is one of the, I think, newer maps that really embraces kind of that unique architecture, just allowing a lot more routes. It's not a flat or narrow map. It just, you have those different levels to it. You have those little avenues underneath that you've got to watch out for, and the whole focal point is the zone in the top mid.
I'm trying to think of which team this map mode favors. I'm thinking Ziphius, because of how well they're just able to hold one area. Yes, we've seen the sharking and the sneaky plays from Krill Switch get them pretty far ahead, but for something like zones, you just got to hold the zone, as we've said before, and I think Ziphius is proven that they are better at that.
Indeed. And we did see in the last zones map that Ziphius just kind of ran away with it. Even though Krill Switch had a really good hold of zone, it was once Ziphius started locking in and playing the range game with the Explo and the bow combo, just they couldn't get back in. We do have some very similar kind of choke points that are going to make that difficult. However, I think with how the varying levels worked, like, I think they're going to have, Krill Switch is going to have more opportunities to kind of sneak their front line in than they did on Barnacle and Dime.
I'm seeing in the comments here in the messages on Twitch that maybe Meat Boy's gonna pull out something different this time, not Sploosh. They said that last time though, and it was a lie.
I was gonna say they said that last time on Crab and here we go. We saw the Sploosh come out, and it's what won them the game. So
you know what? Maybe I should just learn to not trust chat at all. Maybe all of you are just pulling my leg.
Hey, you gotta bet it all on the Sploosh, you know.
Oh, we're seeing the same team comp from Ziphius, even though they lost that last match. I think that's kind of interesting.
Oh, you're right. And in fact, Krill Switch is going to just sub out Meat Boy completely. Going to be going for that double shot comp once again and bringing out the edit as the cooler weapon instead. Very interesting. And again, like you said, Ziphius going with the same comp. Really trying to play that range game again, except for the high range of the Explo.
I'm wondering how that's going to work out for Krill Switch, seeing as they collectively just have less range than Ziphius. Ziphius able to paint the zone now with that range. Ooh, they do get one taken down, though. They are able to hold the zone pretty well, though, with only 3 of them up right now. You see the screen come out. They're even pushed back behind their zone, and they're still holding it.
I think, like, with that screen, once again, is like they are identifying like the key choke points to hold, and they're just checking them out. So they are forced to take those alternate routes, and it just doesn't allow them a good angle at the zone. So when it comes to a straight zone fight, that's going to be Ziphius coming out on top. But Krill Switch, they got to be able to get in and find those splats, and just right now they're not able to do so. Just look at the amount of map that Xiphias has right now. They're getting it down to 50 points already.
Krill Switch trying really hard to find the sneaky picks to try and get around. Ooh, that's so many strikes that just went out, but Xiphias still has that zone painted. That's amazing. We see one of them push up. That's D-Jam there on the zone, trying to get it painted, trying to get a pick, but just not able to. Jose here getting 2 picks there. Let's go, Jose. It's painted again in Xiphias' favor. They are pushing up. They are holding this area. We see strikes come out from D-Jam, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough to repaint the zone.
It's just not quite enough. I feel like just looking at this end screen right there, like how much yellow paint is on there, even with the double shot and the edit, just they couldn't contest. I think like because of just how they were functioning, they were able to just get that momentum rolling once again. I think that's what Xiphias has been accelerating at, is just being able to set up where they want to and just
Look at
hold
that.
it.
Look at that. That was 6 strikes. 6 strikes on and around that zone. And they weren't able to paint it. They weren't able to get Xiphias out of there. They're so good at holding space, so good at being anchors, and just not being able to shake them cost Krill Switch that game.
I think also the screen as well. Like we saw the strikes come out when the screen got popped as well. So they didn't have a direct line of sight at the zone, and they almost overshot the zone trying to get the back line instead, and just they weren't able to follow up with it. Just that line of sight really played into how Xiphias was wanting to play right there in the 52. Even with the double backline, was able to just go in and clean up.
Goodness. Sorry, I was just reading Twitch chat there for a second, seeing if anyone else had some comments to throw me off. But yeah, I'm seeing Rainmaker being the next game here. I'm worried for Xiphias. They've shown that they're not as great at these kinds of game modes where you have to be unpredictable. You have to move to places where perhaps there's not like a set pathway. So something like Tower was really good for them. Something like Splat Zones is really good for them. But Clams and Rainmaker has been really tough.
No, I think like that's such a good point there. Like when they're able to play a very structured game, they just really go at it. But when you throw in that kind of like uncertainty, that little wild card in there, the sploosh, and they can hold it for a really long time, but it's like as soon as they slip, that's when Krill Switch strikes. That's when they kind of sneak in with the final score.
All right, and then Rain on Museum. I feel like this is a little harder to do a lot of sharking on because there is really only one entryway, right? That the enemy's plat. You can't really go behind it in the same way you can in other map modes. You have to go in the front way. You have to be visible to the enemy when you're up there. And so I'm wondering if Krill Switch is going to find some creative way to hold that space against Xiphias.
That is a good point. I think like the thing that will work for them is when they're fighting for the mid control, when they have that extra flank, that will definitely play in their favor. But you're so right. When it comes to getting the Rainmaker past the first checkpoint, they really don't have a lot to work with. When you have the combined might of the bow, which can do so much damage, and then if they run another backline again, and top of that, they've been running a lot of screen, that just completely obliterates that kind of line of sight when you're getting onto the enemy plat.
Wow, I'm so amazed that Xiphias is running the Hydra and the Wellstring and then the 96. That's just like, that's so much range, and you really don't see it nowadays.
Oh, but they're going to be swapping back to the vanilla 52 this time, bringing out that Splash Wall and the Whale. I can definitely see the play with how open it is in the middle. The pencil is going to be hard to work with, so having just a wall to kind of hold space is going to be coming in handy. Meat Boy just going to be taken down right there. Jose trying to find another splat, but unfortunately the Rainmaker carrier is going to be shut down prematurely before they can even get past the spinner right there.
I'm actually amazed that they're going with the vanilla 52 there, because they've been liking running the double screen, but maybe they don't exactly need it for this map mode?
That could be. I think because of is how much they're having to push forward, they don't really need to like hold the same amount of space. They need to be able to be more mobile. I think that just lends itself to being able to break open when they need to. But unfortunately, it is a bit of a stalemate right now. Krill Switch is not letting them really gain any more ground than they have, but at the same time, it just Krill Switch isn't able to gain ground of themselves.
We're seeing Krill Switch trying to take all angles of this midpoint here, trying to get paint on the ground, although they are getting quickly outpainted by Zippius. All of Zippius, like 3 of their members were on that plat just waiting there to see what Krill Switch is going to do. We see Meat Boy here on the enemy plat, getting that Ultra Stamp out. They get a pick, but they get taken down by this Hydra. Smokey, the only one on the plat now, but Krill Switch is not picking up the Rainmaker. Ooh, they did just pick it up though. They are trying to push forward. They are trying to get up that ramp, but they do get taken out by Jose.
That's such a good play. I feel like with how like independent Jose is able to move right here, like even though they have the double backline, the Slosher just following up the 52, they're able to just get in some plays that they're not expecting. But Meatball going to be trying to run for the pedestal, but unfortunately just falls short, although they do take that short lead.
Ooh, I believe that was James there on the Slosher in that corner, distracting while Meat Boy got that Rainmaker up there. Although Zippius now able to get the Rainmaker in the enemy pedestal, trying to get more space here, trying to get more picks here. Jose down on the ground as this Rainmaker goes a little bit more forward. They do get taken out though. Krill Switch trying to rebuild here, trying to get more space, trying to retake their flat.
Jose just popping off right now. They're going for the Rainmaker pop, going to just be holding space right here. I don't know if they see them right now. They're just completely locking down space, allowing Zippius to kind of regroup it here. Meat Boy doing a really good play there. Dren just going to drop it and make sure they can't get any more points from that. With 42, even though it's a pretty far push, it is not safe by any means.
Looks like Zippius is holding down mid pretty well right here. We see Eman here with the bucket, getting a pick. They get taken out though. We see Red Eye here on the left trying to move forward, trying to get bombs on the enemy flat. The Hydra takes them out though. We see the strikes come out from Krill Streak. They are trying to get more forward. They do have the Rainmaker right now here in mid. They are trying to get to the pedestal, but they are finding resistance from the enemy team. Although it's just Jose there now. It's just Jose on the plat protecting it.
First of all, I can't believe that the Hydra was able to sneak out and jump like that, but then Jose coming in, even though they got the checkpoint, just cleaning up 3 of them and just completely shutting down that push before it can even get started again. So it's going to be Zippius going to push up on the plat. Meeple is going to be in a nice spot right there, chucking the hammer, but with Zippius in control of the Rainmaker right now, they can honestly just stall for time, and that's what they seem to be doing right now. Look at the amount of paint they got right now. It's going to take quite a push for Krill Switch to steal that back.
Yeah, Krill Switch having a hard time moving forward. They are trying to get paint on the ground. They even have more players up than Zippius right now, and they still can't outpaint them. This Rainmaker here with Zippius is trying to... They're being a little sneaky there. They were trying to hide behind the wall, but they weren't able to get there before Red Eye took them out. Looks like they're trying to pop this Rainmaker here, trying to hold the enemy plat. Meat Boy gets taken out, although they had that Ultra Stamp. We see E-Man here getting another pick, holding their space, getting that Rainmaker popped. Ooh, they are holding left side here. Just both sides trying to hold mid, and Zippius again just gets more paint on the ground.
I think just getting that early lead right there just allowed them to... They're able to play a little bit more slowly than Krill Switch can right now, and 2 more members down. Okay, I take that completely. Like, they're not playing slowly at all. They are just all the way up in Krill Switch's business and just trying to take more and more space. But with 30 seconds left, and again, just the amount of paint they have, the Sluggy and the Smoky and with the Hydra, they just have so much space to work with. They are just not letting Krill Switch gain any of it back.
Wow, Jose on the right here getting so many picks off of Krill Switch. They got 2. They are still on the enemy plat. They are not able to shake them off.
Really doing a good job of playing around this wall right here, and the Rainmaker is going to reset, going to be killing overtime. No overtime for Krill Switch to work with, so Zippia's going to be taking this game.
Wow. I'm amazed. I was thinking that this was going to be in Krill Switch's favor again, that this was going to favor more of those sharking methods, those sneaky picks, but I think they just were not able to do that here on this map mode.
No, yeah, and I think like they did try. They really wanted to get in and do some of those more sneaky plays, but like because they had to worry about the 52 for so long on that match, like look at Jose here playing around the spinner so well. Just like even though they have several members of Krill Switch going after them, it takes like several seconds for them to take them down, and by then they've already sent several of them back to spawn. So it's just like they spend a lot of time just trying to get Ziphias out of their own base. They don't have time to really make any of their own plays.
I think another thing I'm seeing that is helping Ziphias be successful here is they have that really strong defense, right? They have the Hydra, they have the Wellstring as their anchors, and then they have usually a Bucket as their front line. But Jose is able to hold their own against things like the Sploosh, things like D-Jam on the T-Tech. Just they were the more aggressive ones on the side of Krill Switch, and now Jose is kind of that answer for Ziphias.
No, absolutely. It's like they're playing a little bit slower because of the double backline, like you said, but then because of how well Jose is able to just move on their own, they're playing a lot to the map environment. They're able to take a lot of space, and they're not even overextending that much. They have particular spaces that they want to take hold of, and when they do, they can't be budged. It takes like all of Krill Switch just to push that one player out, and I think that's just what kind of snowballed it in Ziphias' favor.
It's a strength from Ziphias that we didn't see previously. I think maybe they were using Jose as more of a support weapon, and that definitely makes sense. Goodness. I'm glad that they're able to kind of adapt to how Krill Switch was working, that they saw like, okay, if they're going to do this, then we're going to do this. And it's taken off for them. It's working. And I hope that in this next mode for tower control that they'll keep this momentum up.
I feel like with the last Clan Blast match that we saw in Crab, it was very back and forth to begin, but with the Rainmaker match, it was a lot in Ziphias' favor, but it was the one play by Meat Boy that kind of crumpled their whole game plan, because of the double backline, it takes a lot of time to set up, it takes a lot of time to get the momentum going, and if Kill Switch is able to just stop that momentum once, then they're able to just turn the tides. And I think in that last Rainmaker match on Museum, they just weren't able to cut the momentum. They just had so much of that rolling for them, it just completely fell apart.
We're going to see the tower control on Inkblot Art Academy. I'm thinking this is another one that Ziphias is going to win, actually. I have a feeling, I got a hunch. I got just their how they played that last tower, where they just KO'd. I think it's in their favor.
I'd have to agree. They definitely play strongly for the tower control mode. I think the only thing that's going to play against them is just the size of the map. I know on Hagglefish Market, they really utilize a lot of that empty space, a lot of that range, but tower control, there's a little bit less of that space to work with. It does keeping certain spaces of the map. So if they're able to do that again, that will play in their favor, but we'll see just how sneaky that Krill Switch is able to get.
Okay, we are seeing the screen come out from Jose this time, and then a blaster from Smokey instead of the Hydra. I wonder how that's going to play out. I know blasters are pretty strong on tower control, as they can really just aim at the tower and usually get a pick. Because I think that's a good pick from that side.
And we are going to be seeing Meat Boy returning to the Luna Blaster as well, going for the Zipcap and the Splat Bomb. So definitely the Blasters are making their pick right here, but Sluggy sees Meat Boy, going to be just kind of keeping them at bay with two members of Krill Switch down. And here we go, we see the first screen popping out, and Jose just going to town with it.
Yeah, Ziphias doing what they're known for on that last tower control. Just as long as you can keep Sluggy on that tower, you got a safe anchor there. We see Smokey in here with the Kraken, just chasing members of Krill Switch back away from the tower. Able to get a pick here. They are off of the enemy plat now, but other members of Ziphias able to fill their space pretty quickly.
And I think bringing up the range blaster here, the range blaster just works so well for Inkblot because it pulls a lot of those angles that you want to work with for tower control. Like here we go, we're seeing that it's going to be a wipeout off of Ziphias on that second checkpoint, not able to push up fast that. Such a good play by Krill Switch. They want to nip that in the bud before they can run too far with it, and so they're going to be able to gain a lot of that map control back here.
Yes, we see all four members of Krill Switch in mid now, using their specials, using those strikes to take more space. It does still seem pretty yellow in mid here, though, as we see a pick go down. Ooh, two picks down off of Krill Switch. Ziphias retaking mid here. They're not grabbing the tower quite yet. It is in control of Krill Switch now, but as I say that, they no longer have the tower. Looks like Krill Switch just trying to back up, trying to stay safe, but three of them get taken down. Ziphias retaking this tower, able to push up, trying to get more points as Jose here on the left side is pushing up.
Nice combo by Sluggy and Jose. They're able to take down the shot when they have the Zuka on the line. And they're going to be popping the screen and Wave Breaker to start taking control of Plat right here. But three members of Ziphius are down. They're finding a little bit of trouble getting past the checkpoint, able to get into the bats right here. Sluggy's doing a good job of holding space, allowing the team to respawn and get back in, but we'll see if they're able to break that kind of barrier. They're keeping Krill Switch from moving up further, but it is like a bit of a stalemate for both sides. But I say that as we get 3 members of Krill Switch down.
3 members down on Krill Switch. Sluggy on this tower, just painting up. The rest of their team pushing forward. We see the Kraken here on the left side, Smokey and trying to get a pick here, trying to chase Krill Switch away from this tower. 2 are down off of Krill Switch now. This Blaster is the only one up, just holding mid here for their team.
I feel like we're stuck in a time loop right here. We're just seeing this tower get reset to mid, then Ziphias gets 3-year wipeout, pushes up the second checkpoint, top screen, and then we see them go wiped out themselves, and so it just resets over and over again. Krill Switch doing a fantastic job of not letting Ziphias move past the second checkpoint, but they're not able to capitalize off it. They're not able to get any ground back themselves, and they're just, once again, 2 members down, just not able to get any more points other than those 5 to 10.
Yeah, I believe that was twice that Krill Switch was able to push Ziphias off of the tower, able to get 3 and even a wipeout off of them. Another wipeout we see from Krill Switch as they retake mid here, but let's see if they can push this tower anymore forward. We see James here on the left using strikes to take space, but Ziphias has a pretty strong offense here with all of their ranged weapons. We're seeing the Blaster try and get them. We're seeing the subs come out trying to get them with the bombs. And there we go. There's the wipeout from Ziphias.
I think Ziphias doing a good job of just breaking the cycle right there and moving in with their strike as well. That's something I've been noticing between the two teams, is that Ziphias does a good job, and when they pop their here we go, they pop their screen like this, and we already see both the 52 and the Tri just coming in and just going for it. They are just holding W key all the way to the plat, but when Krill Switch, they have those strikes and those opening specials, they're less likely to push in with them. They're just hoping to get a splat with the special itself, and it just doesn't allow them to move quite as quickly as Ziphias here. And as we get down to the last 40 seconds, we're seeing just how much that plays out with how much map control Ziphias has.
Yeah, I just watched a sneaky play try and be started by Krill Switch on the right side, but Ziphias just shut them down before they were able to get any picks. Looks like Ziphias is in control of the enemy plat here, although Sluggy does get taken down now. Meat Boy touching the tower, getting it pushed back, but Smokey and that Blaster player really trying to hold space here, really trying to encourage their team to push forward.
Not looking for Krill Switch. Yes, they stopped the push, but the fact that Ziphias has 2 members in their base right now in the last 10 seconds, 2 members of Krill Switch going down, Ziphias in control of tower. Wow. That is going to be game for Ziphias, taking the set 5-3 in this final match. And once again, just look at how much of that paint that they have right in there. They just did a good job, Hydra or no Hydra, just holding the space.
Wow, and I thought for sure we were taking this to a game 9, but no, Ziphias, they clutched up. They locked in. They understood the assignment. They understood what they needed to do to shut Krill Switch down, and they were able to do that. They were able to just dominate this map mode.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that, like, Krill Switch, they definitely, with the shot and the pencil, they could bring out a lot of map control, a lot of paint, but just when like with Jose on the 52 and then the follow up the Tri-Slasher and even the Range Blaster in this last one, that constant pressure on their front gate, they just couldn't quite keep up with that. They couldn't quite respond in time to get their own push going. So by the time they got that wipeout, Ziphias was already regrouping and ready for round 2.
And as we saw in the earlier map modes, just holding space, Ziphias was able to do that so well, but because that's all they were good at in those earlier games, they weren't able to push forward, they weren't able to win those matchups. But here they understood what they needed to do. They were able to have that really strong defense, but then also kind of keep an eye on Krill Switch from doing anything too sneaky.
No, absolutely. And I think, like, they definitely Krill Switch, they had their moments, they had their strengths right there. I think it came down to once Ziphias kind of caught on to what Krill Switch was trying to do, they were able to just plug up their weaknesses, those little holes that they had in their defense, and then just run with it from there.
Definitely. Ziphias knows how to adapt. They really learned what the matchup was. They learned what Krill Switch's weaknesses were, and they took advantage of them. And I think that's why they were the victor team here.
No, absolutely. Regardless, like GG's to both teams, like they were some pretty intense sets. Like they were down to the wire for a lot of them, so it was certainly not a steamroll by any means.
Exactly. Yeah, those were great sets. They were so evenly matched, and I think just one team got they learned a little bit quicker than the other, and that's what gave them the advantage. But good job for both. You made it this far in Ludi, and you should be really proud of that.
Exactly, and it's going to be Ziphia's taking the set. They are going to be moving on to, I think it's the semifinals next in these playoffs. That sounds about right to me.
Someone will correct us if we're wrong.
But we are going to be wrapping up here. Just kind of, this is going to be, I forget where we were at, but we're going to be passing off to our next set, our next matchup, and our next set of commentators as well. So anything you'd like to add before we sign off, Six?
I was going to say, I think the next ones are Nito and Neptune, considering they are in the waiting room right now.
Oh, yeah, they're ready to kick us out, so we better
Exactly.
chop.
I guess plug ourselves. Follow me, iMadGamerII, on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch. Sometimes I do streams with my lovely girlfriend, Miss Pixie6. And yeah, you should be my fan.
Wow, I can't believe that all came out of my mouth. Thank you so much. Yes, I would you like me to plug you at all, or just?
What do you mean? I already did.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, well, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for watching. We have more Ludi action coming at you, so stay tuned. Stay hydrated.
Send it to Rice.
Send it to Rice. We'll be right back.
All right, and that was our, oh, that's not the right screen. That was our Division 7 quarterfinal set for today. Thank you, Six and iMad, for the commentary today. But we're going to be taking a quick little break just to transition to our next set. But our next set will be Triggerfish Zone Supremacy versus Ford 150, with our commentators being NATO and Neptune. And we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back from that super quick break. We are now on to our Division 3 semi-final set between Triggerfish Zone Supremacy and Ford 150. Nito, Neptune, take it away.
Hello everybody, I'm currently stuck in the void.
This is true. Nito is stuck in the void right here, but I'll be joining him along in the depths right here, living in my little sunshine world while looking at Nito in the depths right here. You know, giving me that thumbs up right there. Yeah, I'll give you a thumbs up there, Nito.
And today, from the depths, we bring you a Division 3 playoff matchup. It's a one heck of a semifinal matchup coming up for y'all. It's on one side we have an icon of our society, something that's so it's a symbol of hope. It's a symbol of unity. It's a symbol of strength. The Ford F-150, and then we have Triggerfish Zone Supremacy.
Yeah, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy is quite the team here. I don't know too much about Division 3, but I am pretty familiar with some of their players there. They're very passionate folks. You know, they play what they want to play. They're ready to run it down here. You know, we're starting it off on Undertow Spillway with Rainmaker. I'm curious to see who's going to be playing for this first set as well. And the matchup against Ford F-150, another infamous Div 3 team as well. And both these teams being in semis, this should be quite an interesting matchup, Nito.
Absolutely, and this is Triggerfish Zones coming off a 5-1 win over Dreamy Waves, so they're certainly no stranger to playoff matches, and they're certainly no stranger to winning those playoff matches. Ford F-150 saying the same on a win against Distinct last week, so winner of this set, of course, going to Grand Finals. A lot's on the line here. The winner of this set is going to be facing the winner of Kubata 2 Euros versus Crossfire. So lots to play for here for both teams and lots to look out for as we start things off at game 1, Undertow Spillway. I already have what I want to see in mind from both teams. I think Triggerfish Zones is just going to play as fast as they usually do. I mean, you're going to see a lot of the weapons you usually see. I really don't believe there's going to be any surprises. The only surprise I can see here is Triggerfish Zones being any good. You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, chat. You need to just watch out for everything I say, because at some point, maybe this is no, it's not taken out of context. Triggerfish Zones, the team's fine. This though, I don't know. Ford F-150, how are you guys doing? You guys are doing great. I like cars.
I like cars too, you know, Ford F-150s. Well, I don't drive one myself. I do think it is a pretty nice ride, you know. Seeing some people pass by on the street with that, you know, they're having quite the fun time here. But generally speaking, both these teams are pretty familiar, and to be able to make it so far into Division 3 semifinals, right? They definitely have game plans and have been executing on them. I've seen TZS use quite a number of weapons picks, like sometimes I'm going as far as using an undercover umbrella, and they somehow managed to make it work as well. So I'm really curious to see how both these teams are going to be able to use their weapons, play their game plan, and stop the other opposing team from trying to execute their game plan as well. Because generally speaking, Splatoon, you know, it's a 4v4 game. There's going to be a lot of interactions going through mid all the way to enemy spawn bases as well. And it's just a matter of breaking them wide open and seeing what openings you can take and use those opportunities to get the advantage.
Fords are great. Trucks are awesome. I think that's the strategy for Ford F-150 today, is just be yourselves, because yourselves are awesome and great. You guys are really well. And then there's some team on the left. But in all seriousness, we do got to talk about the regular season records of both of these teams, because Ford F-150 is coming in here undefeated, haven't dropped a single set in their regular season games. I think the closest one was against Chaos Control in week 4. Triggerfish Zones goes 4-1. Their only loss against Impulse, who went 3-2, didn't make it to the playoffs. But of course, none of that matters now. It's the playoffs. What matters now is the set ahead of them. And I believe someone has eaten mahi.
Someone is eating mahi indeed. I think I might have to take responsibility for that. I don't know. It's just such a delicious looking map, just so bright, colorful. You know, I love seeing my food being bright and colorful, I guess, you know.
Well, it's not bright, it's gone.
I kind of ate all the light. You saw my cam there before. You know how bright it was? Yeah, the eating that kind of made me all shiny.
Ate my lights? Jeez. Okay, well, that's why I had to use this, like, $80 one from Elgato. They ate the light on stream too. Look at this. Oh my goodness. We have lost. Never mind. Rainmaker.
Okay, you know what? I got the brightness settings back up here and running here. Thanks, Rice, on production for being able to fix that as well. So yeah, we're going to be locking in here. What is standing out to you, Nina, with these comps?
Triggerfish Zone sucks. Sorry. No. Actually, you know what? Ford F-150 is brought their own brush, which is funny because from Triggerfish Zones, I was expecting that brush. So you know what? That's fine. But now 4150 comes with their own brush, and they actually have a faster comp, I believe, than Triggerfish Zones. But Triggerfish Zones taking the most advantage out of this opening. Pepe was going to do a lot of damage there, but Vapor carrying the Rainmaker going all the way to the first pedestal. We haven't gone past 30 seconds anyway, but we've got a wipeout for Triggerfish Zones. Ford F-150, very quick to recover here and try to make an attack of their own.
Yeah, definitely. Just that quick opening and take it all the way to the left checkpoint here, breaking it open, allowing TZS to be able to, take that Rainmaker a bit further on here without being stopped by that checkpoint. Hardly a minute into the match right now is going to be giving them quite a big advantage here, especially when, and most of the members are just going to be able to rush down here. But QB has something to say about it with this Kraken hunting for these picks right now. But unfortunately, not going to be able to find anything for Nito.
Yeah, that QB could not reach TZS's resident Boeing fan, apparently. So we're going to put that on the back burner for now as we watch the rest of the set. So far, it's going to be Triggerfish Zones that gets that huge pick at the huge opening at the beginning. And they continue to get picked, so maybe this is the plan here. Just death by 1,000 paper cuts for him. Just as long as we keep winning these smaller battles, we'll push this Rainmaker slowly but surely. And here's Pepe on Greats with the Tricycle. One more shot, not enough there to find a pick. Might actually find a pick on themselves. Does get gapped, does get X-Man. There's already 2 picks. When you can win the battle, you can also win the war. Miles having to jump out very quickly here. That's already a KO for Triggerfish Zones on game 1. What an opening statement.
Opening statement indeed. I feel like I just blinked for a couple seconds, already saw the Rainmaker being ran at, and 2 are going down there. That was just a beautiful, fast-paced play from Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, being able to see these openings, get those picks, and just immediately just run forward the second those picks were secured right there, Nito.
Wow. All right. All right. Okay. Just open it up like that. Why not? I mean, there's 3 players already on that near that right pedestal. None of them really pay attention to Pepe until now with the Trizuka, because obviously, but now Pepe has the opportunity here, already has a lot of paint around these players, knows what he has there, goes for those 2 picks, 2 players, 3 players down. It just this sequence couldn't have worked out any better for Triggerfish Zones as they get the KO and start the set 1-0. I mean, wow, from the void, even I can tell that was a bright moment for him.
Yeah, very bright moment indeed. I think what would really separate that apart was just having the Rainmaker on the right side of the map when most of your members are pushing on the left hand right there. Because essentially, the Ford F-150 was just so hyper-focused on looking at that Rainmaker at that very moment, they forgot to pay attention to the left-hand side of the map right there. So when Point Sensor got thrown and Pepe was able to locate the other following members that were coming up right there, he was able to sweep in for those kills, get those 2 picks, and then immediately have one of their teammates grab the Rainmaker and just make a beeline for it. And unfortunately, with Masa being in such a bad position in that point in time, it just kind of allowed them basically have no resistance at that point. Just a very clean, quick, fast, and dirty play from TZS right there.
Man, and fast and dirty is what their comp is currently allowing them to do. As we announced that we have also eaten ship shape, but that's totally fine. I mean, whatever, we don't need maps. We have the name at the bottom, so that's really all we need. Game 2 is going to be Spot Zones on Mahi Mahi Resort. Now, Neptune, I do want to hear a little bit of input from you. This is not, it's not quite one that Ford F-150 has a win yet. We still have 8 games ahead of us, but Ford F-150, now knowing what Triggerfish Zones can pull out of their bag of tricks and knowing what to expect, do you think we can see better play from them, maybe even better positioning from them?
Maybe, Mahi is like one of those maps that I just feel like it plays very dependent on the team right here, and different teams have very different interactions on them, and it's just a matter of executing your game plans right here. Vapor's probably going to try and set up on that top mid area, and you're going to need to be able to deny that, while X-Man's going to be on the opposing side as well with the Snipe Rider. So it's a matter of just setting up the proper backline right here to be able to do it, but TZS just moves so quickly and so fast right here, already getting the zone, putting pressure on it. There's a Quill, hardly 15 seconds into the game right here. And forward F-150 just needs to gather up to that core to be able to do anything up here. And right now it is a bloodbath trying to be able to, but Kraken is going to be able to take one more down with them, and the zone is just going to flip immediately. Another one goes down here. This is just an explosive opening from both teams here, you know?
Wow, that is fantastic play from Kraken. They're just using that ink brush to maneuver around opposing teams, because as a competitive player, the best thing a frontline player can do is always make your opponent turn the camera, make them work for the pick, because with Kraken, there's just so much mobility there, and you're probably going to see a little bit now until they get blown up by a blaster, but that means Ford F-150 takes control of the game here. They take the lead, and we're going to see if they can respond with a bit of explosiveness of their own. QB and Masa have a comp that should back themselves up very well here, but Kraken and the rest of TZS find the opening they need to possibly get themselves back in the zone.
Yeah, definitely. I do love the point sensor coming out from this Neo machine along with that Zuka, pushing them further back here as well right here. It's to allow other members just to quickly regroup and realize where they want to focus on here. You know, double Zuka, you know, that's not typically something played or as common as we've seen previously, but it's still a very strong option, and it's being repped here by TZS fantastically, you know?
Very rightfully so, some praise. But so far, it's still Ford F-150 holding the lead for now. Heart Boeing, which is a name I'm not going to get over for the rest of this set, goes down to the blaster. It gets another pick with the blaster. QB doing an excellent job there, holding their own ground. As we see Ford F-150 possibly taking control of the zone here. They do. Master there, able to take out the machine on the side of TZS. Maybe get another one with Pepe here in danger. 3 players going down on the side of TZS. Ford F-150 is back in control until Kraken has anything to say about it coming around the outside here.
Yeah, definitely. Kraken being able to just shark at the other brush as well, showing who is the one in charge and the master of the ink brush here. You know, definitely going to be a bit of a sticky situation here, especially when Kraken doesn't have too much paint, but that doesn't matter when you're able to move around so swiftly and have teammates follow up like Pepe, using that Zuka right here to get not one, but 2 picks on zone, securing TZS, even a cap, and another pick!
Goodness, Pepe. Okay, just, it's... lots of cool gameplay here from Pepe, and this is exactly what you want to see from the front lines here. Pepe not only able to hold their own, but taking awesome positioning here, because now you shut down another outlet for F-150 to come out. You know you have Kraken, the machine, and Vapor there, willing to take another drop if it happens. So Pepe just sitting on the right side is perfect. As we see Triggerfish Zones now take control of the game. Before those splashdowns come down, Vapor goes down. QB looking for a few picks with that Kraken. Does at least get zone control there for F-150, but we're going to see if they can get those penalty points whittled down very quickly here.
Yeah, definitely. Both these teams are kind of neck and neck when it comes to score here. It's just a matter of getting down to the penalty points right now. You know, Ford F-150 has a lot of paint to work with in mid right now, so the specials are going to be charged really quickly here. Kraken getting in well, immediately popping it, looking for an opportunity to go in right here. You know, TZS needs to be able to find a way to be able to cap the zone here, but prevent the lead from completely knocking out as well. They do get 3 down here, which is going to be fantastic here. Kraken doing a fantastic job checking these flanks right now, and now we're going to see this flip script for for F-150 playing defense when they have to deal with TZS getting these specials and painting up zone.
I like how much QB and Gab are working together here, trying to find out where these CZS players can be, because they can be so slippery and so scary here. As we see Pepe already deep within enemy territory, but Masa able to clean that up. Triggerfish Zones does get the lead yet again with a minute left on the clock. It's going to be it's going to be a game that goes down to the wire here unless Triggerfish Zones can snatch away the KO here. Kraken's going to make it very difficult for them to do so. 2 players going down, 1 on each side. Ford F-150 continues to hold control of the zone. How long will it last? Not long. Triggerfish Zones gets it back, and it's still a close fight for the zone. Neptune, this may go all the way. This could end within a few seconds.
Yeah, definitely. With just how tight these teams are, just like in terms of like just pacing as well as being able to open each other up right now, it's just a matter of being able to have a long sustained push to be able to fully get through your penalty points and go for that knockout that is oh so desired here. 15 seconds left on this clock right here. 2 specials on top here with the Whale and the Zuka here. Pepe is set up on top mid right now. Probably going to be just slowly paying it up here, throwing bombs at the pencil right here. A pick on this pencil would be huge to be able to prevent any further zone caps. Unfortunately, going to get shut down right there, but that's not going to matter when other teams fall. Never mind, QB has something else to say about that. Hitting a direct with that CRB here. Nice and crunchy, loud sound effects. The Kraken's going to be online. Zuka gets popped right here. Overtime is online, you know.
Overtime, 20 ticks to go. And now Triggerfish Zone starts to pull out all the stops. Is it enough to take control of the zone yet? No. Maybe it is. I think it may have been, but the zone was neutral for a while there. Regardless, Triggerfish Zones takes game 2. And my void slowly becomes darker.
The void does get darker indeed with the 2-0 with Triggerfish Zone supremacy here. Fantastic play from all their players right here. And I just gotta say, neutralizing that zone right there at the most critical time possible, just prevent points from being scored right there, just made, forward F-150 very hasty to get kills at a moment in which they needed to cap zone as well. So even though multiple members are down from TZS, right, they are still having a game plan. They're getting their specials. They are pushing up slowly but surely here, you know, forcing specials out like the Zuka from Ord F-150, not allowing it to find anyone or anything. On the right-hand side of the map here. And you can see the expo shots with the bombs and the splashdown coming out all at the same time right here. And when you click Kraken right here and your other teammates just kind of jumping in, well, there's only 2 people left to paint zone. And from there, you kind of can't really do much else besides just try to win the fights and then go back to zone at that point, Nito.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially with I almost out of instinct want to say campy, but I mean, the comp that Triggerfish Zones plays, it's weird because it's one of those comps that allows you to play. You're allowed to shark. You're allowed to, because you can make all these mistakes. You can make all of these like slip ups, but you have two weapons, the Explo and the sloshing machine that can back you up, and you also have Pepe, who's doing a very excellent job by themselves and covering all the bases. So it's almost a comp that allows you to play Sharky and just wait for those mistakes to happen, but also a comp that can allow you to just go in there, all guns blazing, and just see what happens. Ford F-150, to their credit, Ford F-150 is doing a very good job adjusting to this, playing 2v1s whenever they need to, just to make sure no one's left behind, but Triggerfish Zone just somehow has the answer every time.
Yeah, definitely. It is quite the comp they are running here, as you said before. Just typically seeing like 2 weapons, or say generally 2 sloshers in a comp is a thing not typically seen. But if you are going to run double slosher, right, Explo being your backline right there with splashdown especially is one of those things that can just diffuse situations. It can, not only shut down someone who's running straight at you, right? But it can also just help paint zone right there and cause a lot of chaos that can allow other weapons to run in, such as that shot and that ink brush being run by TZS.
Yeah, no kidding. This is now it's starting to become one of those games, or actually we're starting to get into one of those games where Ford F-150 do need to come up with something, because again, this is best of 9. This is 2-0. We're slowly creeping up to the point where most teams reach panic mode, but this is Division 3. I do expect these teams to come out with a little bit more composure. So we're going to see what both teams come out with. Actually, an Octobrush coming out from Ford F-150. Pretty interesting picks on this side here. Not many surprises from Triggerfish Zones. Triggerfish Zones is still bad. They've still got the same comp as usual. Love it.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta love the classic TZS combo right here, especially when it's so successful and being piloted by players that know exactly what they're doing and the power of friendship. You can't beat the power of friendship, you know?
You can't beat the power of friendship, and you can't beat the power of Boeing jets, apparently, as we see from Triggerfish Zone supremacy and their one player's love for Boeing, as we see them slowly creep up to this first checkpoint. They've got the first checkpoint. They actually got Pepe really far up here. That's a gutsy play from Triggerfish Zones. All Vapor has to do is hold the tower. They actually get past checkpoint 1. So as gutsy as that may be, it does get them at least 1 checkpoint. But now Kraken's facing a 4v1 almost, 2v1 there. Loses that 2v1, but does at least get a few players out. Actually, 450 already at 3 players down.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Ford F-150 would be able to have the advantage here, getting multiple picks, securing Vapor, or getting them out of there off that tower as well. It's just a very difficult situation, especially when you have members like Kraken there who are the master of getting such crucial sharking picks as well, that is able to slow down the pace of the game here and allows TZS to be able to just basically steamroll at any moment and any time here, especially when Kraken's already up and they're shutting down the sniper.
Okay, I take back my statement about this comp being Sharky. Apparently Triggerfish Jones just shows up and does whatever they want now. because this is a complete change what we saw in Game 2. That was a set where it was very neck and neck. They're very close. Triggerfish Zones is just sending people straight into enemy territory. I think Pepe is about to do it again. Once that bomb goes out, they're going to try to find an opportunity here, and it's probably going to be with these killer whales. But already it's actually going to be Kraken here. Kraken going in for one pick. Might go for seconds. Doesn't. But that is going to be another KO with the GG strikes. Is it enough? Yes, it is.
Holy! I look away for like 3 seconds and I see Kraken on top right. I see Vapor riding tower. I see Zuka's being popped right now. Pepe going in. Just everything is just being executed so fast, so efficiently. Just I am just, my jaw is like wide open here, Nito, and just I don't know. I might be going down to the depths where you are currently.
Oh, the depths are only getting darker. Ford, it's clearly not truck month. I'm gonna say that much, but in all seriousness, woo. Okay, Triggerfish Zones is like, they actually got me. So I'm thinking, sitting here watching this replay, thinking Pepe is going to send it at some point. Kraken probably hops on the tower, gets onto that little, gets next to the pillow, starts sending the brush down in enemy territory. What doesn't matter is how many picks they get. What matters is how much attention they got. And they've already got 2 players from Ford F-150 looking straight at Kraken, which means Vapor pops splashdown. Nobody contests that splashdown. That is an instant win. And I see someone just barely levitate off into the distance there, but that doesn't matter much. Triggerfish Zones wins 3-0, and this void slowly becomes darker. And I forgot how to adjust the light on this.
Every match game that goes by, the void just gets darker indeed as well. But you know what? I just gotta comment on just the ending of that match right there. That is the textbook snowball of tower control on ship shape. You know, things can go so well and just go so bad at just a moment's notice right there. And you saw exactly what led to that. You know, being able to just get on top of that top right area in the enemy spawn right there is typically a GG position. You know, just being able to deny anyone else up there. The other members of Ford F-150 were stacking on the opposite side of the tower right there without using as much high ground as well. And it's just allowed that opportunity for Kraken to sneak up there, get those picks as necessary, and just chain together exactly the right movement and specials to be able to just go out for the knockout there, Nito.
And that is all it takes for TZS to get themselves up 3-0. But no worries, Ford F-150 has a means of getting back, and it's going to be on the one and only Barniesel.
Barniesel.
I always say Barniesel. I know it's probably pronounced Barnacle still, but like it's Barniesel in my head. It's always been Barniesel.
Always be Barniesel in our heads and hearts here as well.
Barniesel, that's good too.
Barney Seal. Okay, you know, it's like Barney and a seal. Okay, I never really thought of it like to pronounce it that way.
You'll learn something new a few days out of the week.
Few days out of the week. This is one of the days here, Nito. I am learning indeed. I'm learning a lot here.
Just a day in the void.
Just a day in the void. Okay, maybe the void is actually a good thing to be in. If you're able to learn quite a lot right here. I should have just gone to it while studying for at college back a few years ago. But hey, regardless, we're logging into the game at number 4 here. Clam Blitz on Barnacle and Dime right now. Semifinals moment, and Ford F-150 is a little bit on the back foot here. Let's see if they're going to be able to make the comeback here, or is TZS going to continue their reign of terror?
I mean, that Triggerfish Zones is so terrible, so you're right, there is a reign of terror to some extent, but Ford F-150 and Triggerfish Zones, no surprises from both teams as we see more of the same from what we've been seeing throughout this set, and I almost expect Triggerfish Zones to send one player down the middle, unless they actually go 2 players down like that. We have I Love Boeing and Vapor, the only ones left. Now Vapor is in a lot of trouble, Monster and QB sending it there. And now it's Ford F-150's time to shine. They might get a power climb here very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Power clam is going to be online soon with that range blaster holding 7 right now. It's just a matter of getting that one last clam to that range blaster at the moment. But no, they're going to pop Kraken, dropping all of their clams right now. And Pepe is going to be able to use the opportunity to run past the Kraken here, get one pick, look for another one here, but almost secured the second. That you got to love the flex coming out from Pepe here, Tita.
Oh, I like this is something I don't see a lot. I don't talk about often on commentary, but I like the amount of attention Pepe's directing towards players. Like, you know that someone's vulnerable, and very easily you can take another fight, but that Snipe Rider is so vulnerable, just sitting in blue paint, that that was almost an easy pick for him. But Triggerfish Zones gets the wipeout anyway. They've already got 17 clams at toe. That's 2 power clams going into the basket. They only have 4 remaining. It's going to be up to the Machine and Pepe, who slips by yet again. Triggerfish Zones doing a very good job directing attention away from their own players. I mean, this is something they've been doing very well this whole set.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes Ford F-150, right, just kind of pay attention to one member way too much. They forget that there's another TZS member ready to help pinch it out and take a 2v1 here and just completely catch multiple members off guard here. Masa is going to be able to try and perform a little bit of that magic of their own, going behind them, forcing them to go back into this pit right here, forcing Zuka out as well right now. Pepe is forced to be able to strip fire the other 2 shots there, not finding any value as well, being a very difficult situation right here. Now it's just going to be, a skirmish in mid here, but wait, Sharking to avoid the Kraken and run forward, Nito, you love to see it.
Oh my goodness, that is almost cheeky. That is unbelievable stuff we're seeing here. Triggerfish Zones pulling out all the stops to get themselves closer and closer to a spot in the grand finals match. Pepe already taken another fight. They've won one against that spotter shot. Another one. Can they make it? 3 X-Man. Very dangerous spot there. Does manage to jump out in time. Can they make it? 3. Still nothing there from the Zuka. But it's still very dangerous here. Pepe is still alive, and that's what makes it dangerous until 4 from 50 finds a response just in time. Actually gets 2 players down. Kraken's still there with the power clamp. He's going to have to back up just a little bit, though.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, it doesn't matter if Kraken has to back up a little bit here, because it seems like the other members of TZM are regrouping real quick here to be able to find a response to this push that's going through in mid here, but they're going to have to give up a little bit more space possible here, especially with the onslaught of the members moving up here. The Zuka is popped here, looking to get Vapor real quick. Does manage to secure it. That is a huge pick here. The anchor is down here, and now Pepe is forced to get these picks right now, and unfortunately, Kraken has to be able to run back right now and just play the bomb game. Never mind. Kraken just wants to play up in these faces here and just play for picks instead, Nito.
And it's funny because 4150 does get the first score of the game, but it's only 71 remaining with the game, and with a team like Triggerfish Zones, who has been doing so well on the defensive side of things, not because they play so well defensively, but because they're playing so well offensively that it may as well be their best defense. It's going to be really tough for Ford. It's been tough for Ford F-150 to find a way back in, but now with a lot more pressure on the line, 1 minute to go, it's going to be difficult to see what they can do here. Already 2 players down on the side of Triggerfish Zones. Both teams going a few players down. Triggerfish Zones still holding strong here. Can that actually find a pick? No, but I am going still in a very tough spot here. Actually sharking here a little. X-Man going down.
What?
Is he going to make it 2? Doesn't make it 2. 3 players going down for Triggerfish Zones. And it's going to be all up to that one Vapor who has the power clamp. Does go down. This could be 450's time to shine. And it is. They've got the lead.
Oh my goodness, they got the lead, and they secured a pick on Pepe. You know, Pepe is typically the one that is one of the big playmakers to be able to open up, the members of TZS to be able to make some big plays as well. However, it's a very difficult situation here, especially when Masa is sharking right now. They need to be able to move fast. They get at these picks right here. Unfortunately, I Heart Boeing is going to go down to the Ink Rush as well, and going to be able to just hold a lot of his pressure in mid here, but unfortunately gets shut down from the Zuka from the heavens coming out from Pepe. You know what? I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but I shouldn't be surprised too, you know?
I mean, wow, the Zuka just coming out of nowhere, but now there's, and they've been out. Well, there's the first win for Ford F-150. Gentlemen, start your engines, honk your horns. It's time for Ford F-150. And it's time for them to shine as they get their first win of the set and they keep themselves in this race.
Yeah, definitely. Ford F-150 here, you know, starting their engines, revving it up all the way to getting the first game off TZS right here. You know, it was a bit rough. A lot of that game, I saw TZS just constantly holding such a big lead because that first push was just so explosive and just scored so many points at that same time right there. It just kind of put a lot of pressure on TZS to be able to do something, especially with 10 seconds left on the clock and no lead swap at the very end here. Masa playing very patiently, backing up as necessary here, and just forcing TZS basically to run straight at a team full of cooler players as well. So just it's very difficult to be able to come back from a situation like that, Nito.
I like seeing that replay because I guess now you can say it's that machine's time to take the Airbus back home. Airplane jokes. I love it.
Oh man, I certainly flew right into that joke, right, Nito.
You flew right into it. Okay, before we never forget these jokes we're about to make, let's just go ahead and move on to what we actually just saw. That was incredible stuff from both teams. I mean, this is for F150. Now I think they're starting to play a little bit more to TZS's like play style, and it's actually starting to not maybe trip them up, but now it's starting to you're starting to bring things into question. Because now Triggerfish Zone sees that Moss is playing just as well as Kraken could, but now it's like, wait, that's against us now.
Wait, what? Wait.
It works against us.
Oh, okay. You know what? We are going to be going into Game 5 here on Manta Maria. You mentioned in how they are starting their engines. The cards are racing up right here. They are ready to run this race all the way home right here. But how well can a car actually, maneuver on top of a boat? Genuine question.
So the Ford F-150 is a pretty big truck. I think on a boat like Manta Maria, Game 5, Rainmaker on Manta Maria, we're going to see how well this F-150 can maneuver around the boat. And we're also going to watch this matchup of competitive Splatoon as my dad takes his F-150 out to the lake for totally unrelated reasons.
Holy, okay. A lot of engines being started here. We're on a boat. The Rainmaker is going to be the primary objective this time around here, and I'm curious to see how TZS is going to be able to adapt their playstyle with the Rainmaker involved as well. We saw it on Undertale how comfortable they were at just taking attention away from the Rainmaker and moving up as effectively right here. But hey, 2 members already afford F-150 down here, hardly cooler right now, and Gav being targeted with the point sensor as well. I'm still going to be able to go up there and shut down Kraken there. It's always these just fast pushes at the start coming out from TZS every single game, Nito.
I don't know why I'm laughing. I just saw one of the little posts on the side of the boat that just said rice.
Rice? Our producer?
It just said rice. Why am I laughing so much? Boeing's about to die. Boeing's dead. There's 3 players down on both teams. It says rice. Look right by the pedestal. It just says rice.
Oh my god, it says press Y if you like rice. I bet these players are taking a moment here to look at that and press that Y button, supporting their love of rice, as well as our producer here tonight. But hey, unfortunately, this Kraken is going to be able to shut it down here, and I don't think they're going to be able to have any more rice, especially when Pepe is going up here and securing these picks here, Nito.
Rice stocks are going down, and it's all TZS's fault. But they got the lead at least, and they might actually get this pedestal here. As you see 2 players going down on the side of 450, there's actually 3 players down. That is good enough for the checkpoint, but Huey sneaks by a pick with that blaster. Pepe sharking. They're going to need to watch out. 450 is going to need to watch out, but it's going to be very dangerous. The sniper rider pokes it out just in time. Both players going, 3 players going down for Triggerfish Zones, 2 for Ford F-150. Ford F-150 currently holding the numbers advantage, but watch out, Kraken's making their way through. And it's going to be very, very scary here. Gotta wait for the flank. There's Timmy, falls for the trap there. Might be another one that falls for the trap, but that's iHeart Boeing going around the side here, getting a few picks. Vapor able to follow up with that explosion. 3 players down. Triggerfish Zones keeps it going, keeps this push going.
Yeah, definitely. The push can keep going here, but the Rainmaker is saying there's going to be a little bit of a setback here. But hey, Vapor's going to pick it up like it ain't no big thing right here. Looking for an opportunity forward to getting that knockout here. Going nearly all the way up to that pedestal, getting it down to 3. This is a near knockout scenario. Rice stocks are going down at the minute and every second right now. But hey, Ford F-150 needs to get off that Rice break here and find a solution to be able to take that Rainmaker all the way to the other end of the boat right here, Nito.
Rice stocks are falling, at least Postagon appearance, but this void continues to get darker as this Triggerfish lead grows. Pepe going down west. These 2 players going down further side of Triggerfish Zones. Kraken has to back up just a little bit more, but that's going to be fine because Triggerfish Zone still has 4 of a 50. Pass right behind that middle line. It's important to note that how well the Triggerfish Zones is able to keep them at bay. Not necessarily playing defensively, but being so aggressive here that 4-4-50s can always going at least 1 to 2 players down, and they actually are already 1 player down. But Triggerfish Zones has seen the disadvantage here. 3 players down on their side. Crack is the only one alive. He actually slips past that Ultra Stamp. Actually gets a few more picks. 4-4-50 can't push that pedestal quite yet.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the Wipers being up all in their faces right now. Just being able to just, stuff them out too as well. And that's just been a really good situation there for Art F-150, getting these picks here, as well as slowing down TZS to a pace that they're more comfortable with playing here. Forcing QB to crack, and there's so much pressure right there. It's just unbelievable just how quickly the second submarine thing is called out, just how much it gets thrown in one player's direction there, Nito.
Well, so far, it's still been, I don't know, Ford F-150 clearly has what it takes to get those picks from afar, but what needs to happen is how do they follow up on these picks? I mean, you saw how well Triggerfish Zones works with their comp. I mean, they can get a pick from just about anywhere, and it can take like 1 to 2 players. Usually it's 1, but I mean, when you have people with as much reach as like Vapor, what the point does it make? Ford F-150 has all the range in the world, but the problem is they don't have enough to follow it up with, or maybe they aren't just following up with it, but they go 2 players down. Triggerfish Zones has another push in mind. Just Pepe, see it too. Got 1 player going down to the bump, 2 players going down. Can it be 3? Timmy's in a bit of trouble here. There's 3. Pepe has the ability to make it 4. X-Man's in a bit of trouble. That's a quad for Pepe. Does they make it 5? Can they make it 5? QB's in a bit of trouble. 5 players going down. Do they make it 6? Can it be 6? Gav stops the reign of terror there as Pepe finally goes down. Triggerfish Zones going all the way back. Oh my goodness, they've already sat all the way next to their own mast. That's a wipe. They got the wipe from that? Oh, okay, you know what? They got the wipe. That whatever. This void's just completely gone by now.
Oh my god, Nito, Pepe. Big Pepe fan, you know. If you weren't already one already, you are one now. Just going absolutely insane. Get 1, get 2, get 5, you know. Oh, maybe get 6. It was going absolutely insane for Pepe at the end there. And then following up with the wipeout there, that was just beautiful. Really well played.
It's really hard to see now. The void is dark. But at least Triggerfish Zones is at match point, and they're 1 win away from getting to the grand finals. We watched this replay here from what Pepe nearly got 6. How many stocks they really got in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's really just 5 there, at least on that replay. I don't know what the actual KD is, but my goodness, this void's really dark.
The void is getting really dark, Nito. It's getting really difficult to see you, buddy. Hopefully you should be able... You can't see anything. Well, as long as you're able to see the match, that's what's going to matter at the end of the day here.
That's the only thing that matters for my job.
For your job at this very moment here. Well, maybe afterwards I might need to call someone to get you out of there. I don't know. What are you looking for? Just like an Uber to get you out of there, or like I don't know, just a nice Ford F-150 to drive you out of there?
That car is breaking down, dude. And my number in the void is like 0.
0? Dang. Okay. I was not aware of that, but you know what? What I am aware about is Hagglefish Zones being quite a beloved map here. Typically being played very frequently when it comes to just any zones. If it's not going to be Mako Zones, it's going to be Haggle Zones. You know, very popular map mode for a lot of different Splatoon players here. And I'm just going to say this right now. I do think Ford F-150 needs to find a response really quickly. They are on match point right here. We are on game number 6 here. And I did like the adaptation with the Wiper being played as well. It was just a matter of what do you do after the Wiper gets a pick as well, especially when NTZS has players and members that can either just shark to be able to get like 1 or 2 kills just really quickly, or be able to hold space so effectively that a pick or going down hardly even matters, Nito.
First of all, I don't want to hear it, Zach. Secondly, to your point, it is pretty tough for Ford F-150, I'll be honest. And with Triggerfish Zones, I'm the way they're working so well together, Hagglefish is gonna be pretty scary for Ford F-150. I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be very scary because this is almost completely flat, and Triggerfish Zones to an extent likes flat. because Vapor follows up on just about anything. The Boeing fan follows up on just about anything. Pepe and Kraken don't have that many obstacles in front of them when it comes to taking 1v1s. It's scary for Ford F-150, but Ford fans, stay strong. Truck month is almost coming. They can still get a win here because I know that Ford F-150 can still play to the same level that Triggerfish Zones does. They need to channel some of what they got at Game 4 and bring it into Game 6 because there's actually a pretty fair deal of similarities between Barnacle and Hagglefish. So I can see Ford F-150 playing to some of that what we saw in Game 4 here.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta see just what stops they're gonna be able to pull out here for Ford F-150. You know, the engine started with that game and winning, game-winning push there on Barnacle and forcing TZS to be able to make a play at the very end of the game right now. But that really can't happen as easily. You know, the situations like that are far and few between right there. And while they are able to capitalize on that right here, I just feel like it's gonna be very difficult to be able to quite literally break through TZS's formation multiple times and be able to maintain hold of that zone right there, Nito.
Huh. Neo Splash, and with the special charge. I feel like I know what's coming up here. I saw Catnip playing their Div 1 playoff set a while ago, and I'm not sure if it was Catnip using this, but this is what you have here is going to be special spam. I want to see at least 2,000 paint coming from this Neo Splash. I better see it, Triggerfish Zones. If you're going to pull something like this, I almost know what's going on here, but I want to see it. Ford F-150 takes control of the zone here, and it might not last long. Triggerfish Zones already has a response there. They actually got one player down. Gonna keep an eye out for iHeart Boeing, but it's gonna be QB actually here. You're gonna need to keep an eye on. As that Kraken is gonna help to take out 2 players. Might be 3, might be 4, but Boeing actually taking out 1 player like most of their Jets do. As we see, Ford F-150 actually take control of the zone here.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane right there. Being able to get those picks and just secure zone right this is definitely something you want to be able to do if you're Ford F-150. You know, you are down in an on-match point real quick right now, so you need to be able to find a way. But hey, they are going to be backing up here. It just seems like a TCS, the second and one player gets called out there, forced to retreat or have to deal with the onslaught as going up. Like Kraken Man running up, getting 2 picks here and allowing their team to cap the zone. Vapor's moving up right now. QB has the first place. Here, but wait a second, you know, they are going to be able to hold the zone here, and Vapor is forced to back up here, you know?
Wow, okay, I mean, it's funny because I've been talking about how aggressive Triggerfish Zones is. They hold the zone with 2 players left, but so far, that is far from what we're seeing now, as QB gets a triple of their own. They got 3 players with Triggerfish Zones, meaning Ford F-150 continues to hold a great control of the zone here. Timmy now playing to their aggression, getting some ham action out there. And next is going to be enough to get to 40 remaining. Is it enough for them to get a few more points? That's going to be Triggerfish Zones pulling out all the stops. There was 3 specials online. Now they've already used all 3 of them, and it's going to be up to that sniper to keep themselves in the game. QB goes down. Now it's X-Man all to themselves. X-Man and Timmy, actually. And Boeing gets a direct error, and a trade eventually comes out. Neptune, this is still as close as it can ever be, even though the score doesn't show it. It's still very, very close here.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very close, especially when TZS doesn't have too much penalty points to be able to tick through to be able to score a lot of points right now. And it's being in the situation here where Vapor is right on the zone here, ready with that splashdown to be able to defuse any attempt to be able to hold the zone, along with the Neo Splash paint here as well. Getting these picks right here, only the Neo Splash left alive right here. Unfortunately, going to get rushed down here. Vapor going down a little early, just breaking the formation as they needed to be able to do. Is going to be able to force a lot of situations to be able to happen for Ford F-150, opportunities to move up real quick. You know, Kraken's being popped as well. The zone is being contested right now, and this is just a very difficult situation to be in, especially when you're QB. It will just move right in between the glass right there and dodge the splash down there, Nino.
Goodness, and somehow Ford F-150 still holding control of the zone. Oh wow, that was a very cool. That was scary for a second there, but they did manage to get the jump out. 28 points remaining for Ford F-150 as we head towards the final minute of this matchup. It's still match point for Triggerfish Zones, but Ford F-150 has been holding control for a good majority of the matchup here. Krakenmare. Watch out for Krakenmare. QB didn't watch out for Krakenmare. Does Timmy know? Timmy knows and at least has Jab on their side to fight it off. 2 players going down. Ken isn't enough to take it in time. No, Triggerfish Zones gets the lead. Timmy goes down. They're still holding on to the zone. There's not much 450 can do, but they do have the Kraken from QB. It's not enough. 2 players going down, 12 points remaining, 10 points remaining. It's going to be very close here. They need to make a move now. They need to make a move soon. They've got the wipeout, and they get control right in the nick of time.
Oh my goodness. And so the 1-point curse is going to be the 2-point curse right here. And Ford F-150 is in a really good position, especially with that wipeout at the very end right there. It's going to lead a little bit of a stagger here. You know, you have to get these specials here to be able to push through to the middle side of the zone here and go a little bit further up here. You know, you see all the specials being popped right now. This is the opportunity for TZS to make a play, and hopefully he go through with this one as well. But hey, right now the zone is just being back and forth here. But Kraken is here helping to paint that zone here. Brush has a lot of burst paint as well to be able to cap that zone here, and already gonna push the Blade Fighter all the way back there by themselves. You'd love to see the aggression coming out for that ink brush right there.
So the zones. This is actually no. Ford F-150's last stand here. They have quite a few penalty points. They have Kraken to look forward to. There's already 2-1 player going down, but they don't respond to it just in time before that causes any more trouble. And then remember, they have to go down to 2 remaining here. If they can't let that zone go neutral for long, they can't even let Triggerfish Zones approach it. They know how aggressive Triggerfish Zones can be. So QB's going to sit right in front of the zone, try to see how much they can get out of this. It's not going to be enough. Triggerfish Zones going to grand finals in the Division 3 playoffs, fending off Ford F-150 as most people start to become a Chevy fan.
Oh my goodness! I think I was a Ford F-150 fan before, but now I guess I am a Chevy fan at the end of the day here. You know, as you descend darker and deeper into that void there, Nito, Triggerfish Zones of Jersey, as you said before, is going to be moving on to grand finals of Division 3 right here. And we just got to break down this last situation right here. This last shark here from Kraken right here, it looked like it was going to be able to succeed, but get shut down just in time right here. However, this last situation when QB just, I think, panic cracked at this very minute here, because a lot of pressure is on them. They are being marked as well. So in a situation like this, they have to give up their main weapon and not going to be able to pressure Vapor out from there. And since Vapor is on that glass as well, they're able to hop down at the moment that they need to be able to cap zone along with the strikes going down, completely just capping the zone and just ending the game right there, Nito. Absolutely insane. Oh God.
It's
Nito.
dark in here.
Nito. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think so.
You
I'm
want me
fine,
to call you
actually.
something? Do you want me to like get you some lights or like, you know, or order you some stuff off Amazon? Like, are you okay there, buddy?
I'm doing just fine, actually. I can so what's happening here is I don't really know how to explain it. It's Triggerfish Zones 1. That's really the only way I can explain it. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like the more wins Triggerfish Zones gets, the more I have to like. The more it's kind of like a coping mechanism. The more I'm trying to find things to talk about with Triggerfish Zones, because they did really well this set, and I like the way that they play. However, help.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess the two are correlated, but I guess correlation is causation at this point. But you know what, Nito? You know, we are running a bit low on time here. Besides the void, where can the fine people Twitch.tv find you?
In the darkness. And on Twitter and on Twitch and on Blue Sky at Nito Unused. But yeah, I mean, if you can find me, good luck. Where can people find you?
Well, they can find me at Neptune with a 2 instead of a T and an underscore at the very end. They're both on Twitter and Twitch, you know. I also play this game. It's pretty fun. You know, a big fan and of a lot of players here, especially Epepe. And that was proved tonight here as well. And you know what? We can't stick around for long. I think I need to find some solution to get you out of that void and just double check to make sure you're okay there, buddy.
My address is gone.
It's just voided completely. But hey, I'll toss it back here to Rice. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice night.
All right, and that was our Division 3 semifinal set for tonight. We have one more set for you all tonight. We have Star Guardians of Chaos versus One Wish. That will start in just a couple minutes, but let's just send it to a bit of a break while we try to set that up for our new commentators, Mel and Spicy.
I can't see anything.
Hello and welcome back to Ludi Tonight. We have one last set for you tonight. We have our Division 9A quarterfinal match between Star Guardians of Chaos versus One Wish. Our two commentators today will be Spicy and I'm assuming it's Mellow, but
Yes.
I'll toss it to you guys. Yeah, feel free to go.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. We like Rice. Shout out to them, by the way, for running stream. Now the third match of the day. Still a absolutely great match, guys. D9A quarterfinals. Star Guardians of Chaos of One Wish. Star Guardians of Chaos. This team is on an absolute tear this season. Not only are they basically steamrolling, they have not lost a set. They've only lost 3 individual games to one team, and that team is already out of Ludi as well. So here they are. This team being from predominantly Latin American countries. I'm looking at El Salvador, Argentina, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Honduras, I think that is also. This is a team with a big roster as well. They could be looking to make some names with One Wish. They were looking to do something similar here. They've won their first round matchup as well, and now putting them in the quarterfinals set here with that big roster and a lot of great names on that team. While this is D9A, I think we're going to be in for an amazing matchup here tonight.
I'm excited. I think these got big rosters. There's going to be lots of weapon variety. I hope to see a Reef Slider. That's a little biased, but I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. And just looking at the rosters, when you see like teams with this amount of players, well, you know that the weapon pool, the variety that we could be seeing is going to be incredible to watch. And I think that is going to be some of the best things we're going to be having, that dynamic. Which team is going to be bringing out which weapons? Which team is bringing out specific players? I don't know who's available on each side just yet. But if we have like this amount of variety, we could be in for a lot of fun, especially because like in D9, you're at the point where like, yes, you're a bit more experienced with the comp scene, but there's still a lot of like experimentation going on, and you'll see weapons that just work. Those one tricks really bringing out like really shining in these situations, and what better place to shine than in Ludi playoffs?
For sure, I think we'll see a lot of variety. Looking to start on Mako Mark Clams here. I did look at these rosters beforehand. I did see a Stringer one trick, so I'm kind of hoping to see the Stringer. I'm a little curious.
Oh yeah, I will say I remember seeing the Stringer one trick, and I think that's definitely going to be a weapon we potentially do see. And there's a few other one tricks to note as well. One Wish, Paper Visage, Umbrella one trick. So that's going to be really fun. I'm looking at their like Sendo Q, and it's like just 3 Brellas, 4 Brellas there already there. It's like you never know what's going to be brought out here, especially with Mako Mark Clam Blitz. Relatively common map mode combination lately in the meta, and I think these teams, especially at this point, definitely have planned out how they are going to approach this. They definitely have their like strategy already built in. So I'm excited for what we are going into when we eventually get into game 1.
For sure. I think, especially in Div 9, like, there's so much fun, so much experimentation that happens at this level, and I love watching, like, people really learn and get into things. I think Ludi is so exciting in that way.
Oh yeah, I love that as well, especially like as a player who's in these lower divs, the D9s, D10s, it's like you really see a lot of like experimentation, but you also know that these teams, they're looking to make a statement. They're looking to like pretty much make their debut and with a huge splash in playoffs. But here we are going on, kicking off quarterfinals of D9A. One Wish, Star Guardians of Chaos with Game 1, Clam Blitz, Makomar. Let's get a quick look into the opening comps as well. So, gonna be seeing which teams are bringing out which stuff here. You see the Brella on their side. Out of One Wish.
Ooh,
and there's a Stringer from Star Guardians Chaos.
I did get my wish. There is a Reef Slider. I'm very happy about this information.
there's some other notable things I'm looking at right here. Penny from Star Guardians wrecking the blue Dapples with not a weapon you see very often here, but going to be seeing a very aggressive option now on their side. Already seeing the Arginex with some picks there, but a 3-down, make that a quick wipe as Star Guardians of Chaos in the first like 25 seconds not only get a wipe, immediately get a power clamp, run towards that basket, and they're looking to make a huge statement here today.
And here they go, just keeping the pressure on. Like, they open strong. Already got the clock down to 71. Unfortunately, have to kind of back up a little as One Wish pushes them back out.
Yeah, pushing them back out. They're doing some damage control. One Wish doing a great job there just to minimize what an explosive push that Star Guardians of Chaos already had so far. But right now, Star Guardians out in a 2-down situation. One Wish trying to make one push, but no, he's gonna get splatted out in the process as well. And multiple members from each side going down here, and Kraft with the stringer now trying to just keep up some pressure, really add on some defense here for Star Guardians, who are a bit in the back foot right now, trying to just hold on here as the clam economy on both sides not very well established yet, but you do see a couple power clams in play for One Wish, who trying to just do anything possible here, but right now we're a bit in a neutral state at this point with a minute and a half into the game.
We see this Brella getting a great pick on the range there, using this back to try and hold space. Unfortunately, gets taken down, and the rest of their team just kind of ends up trading.
Yeah,
a little bit of teleporting happening here, but that's okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's just gonna happen. You just gotta play the game with whatever Netty got in front of you here, but Star Guardians Chaos able to hold on to their lead for now, despite One Wish having another power clam ready. You see them trying to stay alive at this point, but they're getting shut down as Felix with a lot of aggressive positioning before eventually getting picked off while throwing out those tri-strikes. Basket opening once again from the side of Star Guardians though, and the Kraken also in play, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get many more clams in at this point with that basket still open. Oh, never mind.
Oh, the Wellspring just happened to sneak by. It's a very back and forth game. Every time a team makes a push, the other team just seems to wipe them out and respond like it's nothing. So I'm very curious to see how One Wish will react to this push here from Star Guardian. They have a lot of mid space here. Some specials ready, Crab coming out, putting in a lot of pressure on the snipe there, hopefully making them some space there so they can move forward and get this ball in.
Yeah, you see Hardenex with another pick onto Felix there, and the back is in play as well, as you do see One Wish trying to mount a push here. They have some resources available, have that power clan. The back goes up, isn't going to pick anyone off, and look at that, a 3-down situation for One Wish. Star Guardians of Chaos responding very well, getting basically a delayed wipe at this point, having that Kraken online as well, and this is looking pretty good for them. We're down to less than 2 minutes to go, a lot of specials in play, and that's another 2-down situation for One Wish as Star Guardians of Chaos once again going towards the basket and able to break it open.
Just an incredible defense followed up by a super strong offense as they just continue to wail on them. Dapple is holding an immense amount of space up there. And they have another ball coming in. This push could be game.
And yeah, right as you say, that push was game as Star Guardians of Chaos taking that first game in this quarterfinal matchup pretty handedly. It was a bit back and forth, but you saw once Star Guardians really started to get going, they really just were able to get away, and you noticed that how fast they were able to make those pushes. You touched upon it before, but strong defense really just translated to great offense.
You see here a great double from this blaster, just getting insane picks here so that their team, right off of defense, gets this crazy push that leads to them winning. I also want to point out the T-Tech was incredible at just getting in, getting great picks. Really nice offensive showing from Star Guardians here.
Oh, very true. Yeah, you mentioned the T-Tech. I want to say that was Felix from Star Guardians. Yeah, we saw their positioning, just being able to pick off members of One Wish. And yeah, once again, those points, that push, you mentioned it, they translated that just strong defensive hold, and between the blaster play from Jules and then Felix also being able to maneuver around, the rest of the team just follows up, and that's really strong start for Star Guardians of Chaos. But we're going here into Game 2, Barnacle and Dime Splat Zones. Now, I think one of the biggest questions is, with the teams having rosters of like 7 and 8 respectively, Are we seeing player changes? Are we going to be seeing weapon changes? You never know.
I would be quite curious when you have a big roster like that. I mean, I would like to say I love Barnacle Zones. This is my favorite map mode in the game. It's so Reef Slider friendly. I'm kind of hoping that we'll see one again. I'm curious how One Wish will build their comp here in response to the absolute, like, offensive play of Star Guardians here.
That's a great point, actually. Yeah, you saw that Star Guardians are really benefiting from strong offense, especially early on, and that One Wish starting to be pushed back a lot at times, where they just have to like respond now. What's going to be coming up from their end? You know, there's some decent weapon variety in their team, so maybe we'll see something, especially here in Splat Zones, where not only is paint really important, but being able to do anything you can to get picks while you're on offense and trying to push up your advantage, that becomes incredibly vital for success here. And with it being Ludi, it's best of 9, so long sets here. One Wish only down a game. If they get this game here, right back in it, basically.
Right, and let's see, here we go to Barnacle Zones. Oh.
Oh.
Well.
Unfortunately, we will not be going into Barnacle Zones just yet.
We will not be.
Some interest. Oh, do you see some notable weapon switches, at least from the side of Star Guardians of Chaos, when we eventually get back into the game?
You like the roller pick. I hope that stays.
I was excited. I saw the roller pick and the blue dapple returned. So I think, yeah, you're probably going to be seeing probably similar stuff from Star Guardians of Chaos. But now, with going in with that kind of like comp, you have an idea of what's going to be happening. Is we get the fastest instant replay ever, the fastest game replay ever. I feel like we just saw this right now, but hey, great options that we're going to be seeing, and I think if I remember, we're having 2 Reef Sliders in each team.
Yeah, there's a Reef Slider dually on both teams. There's also an edit on both teams, which is interesting. One of them being the crab edit, and the other one being the cooler edit.
I do want to shout out our person running the spec cam. We like Rice for some of the fastest camera movement I have ever seen at the start of the game. Covering it, you saw it on the instant replay. I wasn't able to break it. Yeah, I wasn't able to break it down very analytically in time, but like you saw the movement, like that kind of like that's like a lot of like neutral movement you will see, like especially as you go into like the higher divs. That's like div X level of camera movement. So shout out to We Like Rice for the absolute insanity.
To have that much movement in the little amount of time we had during that game was truly incredible.
That is, yeah, exactly. It's so much movement in such a little time. Like if you can get like the actions per minute on that alone, just the amount in like those 3 seconds, like dang, I gotta figure out the stats on that. If we have a stats team, would love to get the analytics on there.
We gotta suggest this got a +1 for sure.
Now, the fun thing is here. So if I remember, that was actually a One Wish player who disconnected or wasn't able to get back.
I think so.
So I wonder what's maybe in store for them. What if they were looking for a substitution and we just weren't aware of it? Or maybe they will have to substitute now. I don't know if all these players are back actually, but we will see and see what the comps here once again as we are going into game 2. And with these weapons, yes, same thing as what we've been seeing. I'm excited to see how these comps play out.
We see Felix, who was on T-Tech last game, swapping to Roller, which is a very big change in weapon, I feel like. We also have Reef Sliders coming up from both teams, and if you know anything about Reef Slider, it is very, very nice at tapping the zone very quickly.
Yeah, fast tapping indeed. And look at this. One Wish was able to take the zone pretty early. Now able to control it here with a big numbers advantage. You see Paper now having to try Zuka online, firing it off into the distance. Not going to be able to get any picks off, but they do have 4 up as well. And you see One Wish starting to make up with this huge advantage. Potentially the bubble already coming out here. Penny trying to come in with the Reef Slider, getting 2 picks in the process too.
But it just wasn't enough as the Tetras holding their ground, trying to hold the zone as well as they push up onto here, trying to... Another Reef Slider coming out, getting a nice little pick on the edit there. This Roller gets the pick off, and can Star Guardians make something happen here, because they've kind of just the offensive showing from One Wish here has just it's been incredible.
Yeah, it's been incredible. You see this advantage that they have right now. They're all positioned up. You're not seeing Star Guardians being able to work their way back in, and this might be a 100-0 at this rate we're going. Less than 5 on the clock here with a 3 down. That's and a wipe. One Wish gets one game so far, and not only did they tie up the set, but for Star Guardians of Chaos, that is the 4th game they have lost all Ludi. So this has gotten very interesting here. I'm excited to see what we got for the rest of the set.
I think the team comp that they came out with, like the use of the Borello right off of the start there, just like opening strong, holding space strong. They played off their coolers well, they played off their Kraken well. One Wish, I think their one wish might have just been to win this game in particular, because they came to win this game.
Yeah, they came to win this game. Once they had 4 players, all they had to do was like start and then really just make their way towards mid and just like win out the team fighting. The fighting they had here was insane. Like you saw just here on all these replays, the number of picks they were able to get, especially as the game progressed. There wasn't much that Star Guardians of Chaos were able to do. And like with Reef Slider being as good as it is on that map, especially, One Wish just kind of shut down any like resources, any options that Star Guardians had. And now we're going into game 3, Rainmaker Scorch. It's a tied set.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like this one could be either team's game at this point. Like, we have a strong Brello player on One Wish here, so they could pull out a VAC, but at the same time, Star Guardian, their T-Tech is strong. They got a great blaster player. Maybe we see the roller come out again for the bubble support. I am very interested to see how this game is gonna go.
Oh, same here. And like the great thing is, like when you look at the rosters here, especially from the side of Star Guardians, who now maybe they're at the point where like, okay, we can actually have to adjust based on what One Wish is doing here. You saw offense has really dominated the game so far from Star Guardians. It's defense to offense translation. One Wish, it was just the explosive offense here. So how are these teams going to counteract that, especially when you go into Rainmaker, which can be a very explosive game mode where a lot of big pushes can happen in a relatively short time. Arguably seems one of the more faster game modes as a result of that. And like if we're seeing the offense that we've been having from both these teams without even knowing what comps are going to be coming into play going into game 3, we might be in for absolute fireworks for this one.
Especially on a map mode like Scorch Rainmaker, because after the first check, it is very, very funnily to that final checkpoint. I'm excited to see how back and forth this game could possibly be.
Ooh, do see some different options come out from, I think, both teams here. Rocking double dualies now from the side of Star Guardians. One Wish now as well, having the Wiper, I think, for the first time here with that, and now having Hammer as well. Maybe just the way to get through that funnel, as you've been mentioning. Bubble pop in blue, Star Guardians be able to take control of that now. One of their dualies is going down in the process, though. And now One Wish trying to maybe get their way back up here, but the Star Guardian, it looks like Felix is back on that T-Tech, able to stall out mid right for a bit so far. Paper getting the big pick onto Felix, though, and now getting Penny, who's getting splattered out as well. 2 down so far for Star Guardians as One Wish. Whoa, and Paper with a huge pick off with the Jet. Make that 2, and that's a Rainmaker push. Let's see how far they go here.
Very interesting comps here, as One Wish has opted not to have a VAC, where Star Guardian has actually brought one out with their Ballpoint Nouveau. It's interesting, and Star Guardian quick to respond to this quick push, basically a delayed wipe as they take mid, and Felix just going fast to their checkpoint.
Yeah, they're going fast over here at this checkpoint, trying to do what they can to break it and equalize the game pretty much here. You do see that 2 down from the side of One Wish. 2 down from each side so far, but Star Guardians is able to break through the check. They need just a little bit more. You see the ink back pop out, and it does look like they might be able to secure lead here. Splashdown coming out, getting 2 in the process as well, as Star Guardians making their way up here and trying to get at least a couple more members down. They're going to take it all the way to the 20, make that 2 to 10, and before getting splatted down at the 8, what a push from them.
Just an incredible push from Star Guardian, an incredible response to an early push from One Wish. The use of that ink back really helping them take that first check and push it even further. We see Felix here continuing to just put on the pressure, just 1v4ing their whole team, unfortunately only getting one out of it, but they hold mid as well.
Yeah, that's brave positioning from Felix, but able to stall out for their members to start coming back into mid as they try to secure it here. Splashdown coming out once again. Paper able to survive it this time, and now it's going to be seeing if they're going to be able to get this pick onto XV2. The assist also coming into play here, but it looks like Felix able to pick Paper off now, and now 2 down from each side. That 3 down from the side of One Wish, as now Stargrins of Chaos back in this middle spot. They're going to have the Rainmaker once again. Let's see if they're going to be able to position for a potential knockout.
And once again, Star Guardian doing just such a great job of holding mid, especially like as One Wish pushes back in, trying to regain ground so that they can make an attempt on breaking this lead of 8. We see this Crab come out, unfortunately not able to get this Rainmaker, and Inkjet coming out as well. Star Guardian, unfortunately, goes down 2 here.
Yeah, and now One Wish looking at a chance to potentially make a push of their own here. Paper is going to be taken down. Milk's now trying to stay alive here, as you do see, I want to think, as Cloud now with that hammer trying to move their way up here, as Penny also trying to stay alive but gets hit by the hammer in the process, and now Cloud taken down here by Felix, who is starting to go off and really getting a lot of these picks, trying to beat out Paper this time, then getting taken down in the 2v1. Rainmaker still back into mid in neutral. Bubble's going to be popping orange here, and One Wish trying to get another chance at a push.
You see a great pick come from Penny here as they just play the incredible role of Dapple's just distracting. They unfortunately go down, and One Wish has 2 specials online here, Crab and an Inkjet. We see the Inkjet come out. Will they be able to get a good push going here? We see an Ink that comes out in response, just sucking up all of those blasts as Star Guardian works their defense, taking down one of their members, taking down another. Star Guardian just does a great job at defending their lead here.
Yeah, Star Guardian doing a great job with that lead, being able to just play off of it right now. No, you know, with 1 minute to go, we just can't basically be knocked out here, and we have control of the game. One Wish still has the chance to make something happen. 50 seconds is a lot of time, and Rainmaker especially. Cray trying to find a pick onto Cloud, able to do so here. Rainmaker being helped by One Wish now as well. Back coming out once again, and it does look like that a member of One Wish is starting to break away. Not really though, as they do get shut down, and so now with 30 seconds to go, bubble popping orange once again. One Wish maybe has one last stand here before eventually going down one more time.
With like less than 30 seconds on the clock here, One Wish needs to get huge picks here.
Ooh.
But Star Guardians, it takes the Rainmaker all the way into the famous stall spot of this map. Getting a pick as well as Star Guardians just holds the Rainmaker. One Wish is just struggling to get this kill on them. They're unfortunately having to get it, but is it enough?
Yeah, the overtime situation here. This is One Wish's last chance, last gas. They have to make something happen. The Reef Slider, though, from Penny, making things a bit awkward for One Wish to get back into play. 3-down situation as Star Guardians of Chaos able to take the lead back once again, and are up 2-1 here after game 3.
Despite their rough opening and giving up a check in the first 30 seconds, Star Guardian holds their ground, uses the strong ink back that game to get a great lead.
Yeah, and there was just a lot of like great stuff that you saw from Star Guardians in this. Well, first of all, this amazing like Rainmaker plays here, being able to take it to like the infamous stall zone and take 2 picks off in the process. They do go down, which does trigger an overtime situation, but it does make it difficult for One Wish to get anything going. As you see Penny help clean up, and Star Guardians just doing everything they had to do. And these Reef Sliders, that's been the theme of this set so far, but these Reef Sliders have been putting in a ton of work, which must make you insanely happy.
Oh, very, very much so. Big fan of Reef Sliders. I think as well, like Penny, their role as a Dapple is to just get in there, get picks, be a little distractor, and honestly, it did a great job of doing that this game.
Yeah, the blue Dapple selection, like as you don't really see it, but hey, in D9 you will see these like niche weapons really start to come out, and you will see them work. Penny with that blue dapple, the reslider especially is really getting so much value. But as you mentioned, the ability of Penny to just get in, wreak havoc, and then just like get these picks to help opens up the opportunity for their team to really make the most of it, as Star Guardians of Chaos are able to be up 2-1 as we're going into game 4, which is Tower Control Hagglefish.
And Tower Control Hagglefish is very interesting. There's a lot of that first check is always a little hard to get because you got to deal with that top right while also dealing with pressure from the left. So I'm very curious to see maybe the blasters will come back out here, because I believe both teams did run custom blaster, so custom range blaster. So I believe maybe we'll see that come out again here. I'm very curious.
Oh yeah, I definitely think you would see like custom range blaster especially come out, assuming it's in the weapon pools of both teams. I'm pretty sure it is, especially with the teams that have rosters like this. There's no shot that like at least one of them doesn't have like a pocket CRB or a pocket blaster of any kind, and especially on tower control where you get so much value out of that weapon, and being able to have that kind of AoE, especially when attacking the tower. Having something like that could be really helpful here. And then you know how tower control is, it's like can get extremely volatile, get snowball heavy, but yeah, getting past that first check can be difficult. So it's especially here with these two teams who have had explosive offenses, we might be in for something big, assuming either one of these teams is able to get themselves into a position where they can really make the most out of like a big push.
For sure, we've seen One Wish's explosive offense on the Barnacle game, but we've also seen Star Guardians' really great ability to just defend a lead once they get one. So I'm very curious to see how the opening of this game will go.
Yeah, I think the opening is going to tell us everything. It's going to set the tone for this game 4, and this game 4 is pivotal. Even though it's a long set, One Wish doesn't want to go down 3-1. They want to take another game off and make it equal going into game 5, basically making it a best of 5 at that point. And it's definitely possible here, especially because we saw what One Wish is capable of doing. Not only did they win game 2, but they started off very strong in game 3. They have some momentum. They've already shown that they can be one of the teams that can beat Star Guardians, who came into this match as the likely favorites. But One Wish, they got one dream, that's to be the one team left here in Ludi D9A. So when we go into game 4, I'm excited to see how does One Wish respond and try to equalize the set.
For sure, I definitely think One Wish's main priority here is to just figure out how to break that strong defense of Star Guardians. They've done it before, and I certainly think they can do it again.
For sure, I do think that One Wish is very capable of like breaking down the defense of Star Guardians, and I think one thing they showed is that like if One Wish gets into like such a strong opening, they're able to just really like make it difficult for Star Guardians to even get into a situation where they can even position themselves on defense. So we know now One Wish is, or both these teams, probably going into this game with a lot of thought right now, trying to figure out what's going to be the play as we go into game 4. We know that these teams have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of players. We know that there's probably a lot of options that are being thrown around right now. I'm wondering what those calls are like at this point.
For sure, especially with comps, it's so versatile with such big rosters. You really do have to wonder, what exactly are we going to see here? Like, we've seen quite a few interesting picks so far with like 10 Umbrella, Dapples. We saw Wellstring in game 1, I believe. And Tower Control is one of those modes where it's like, a lot of things are great, a lot of things aren't. So I'm very curious to see how these teams respond to each other in this match, especially One Wish down a set here. How will they build their comp again to respond to Star Guardians?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely from One Wish. You know that this is like an off-meta specialist team, and they have a ton of options that they can be approaching this game here, so they know like there's probably something here that they can use to counteract what Star Guardians is doing, whether that be from a straight up matchup perspective or in the player matchup there. So it looks like we are eventually going to be going in now. So having One Wish and Star Guardians Chaos, these teams not only did they have a lot of players, a lot of weapons, a lot of weapon pools here, so a lot of ways that this match can play out. And if I was a betting person, I wouldn't even know how to approach this here. I'm excited now. Going into game 4, let's see what's coming out here.
And once again, the Tenebrella coming back out. Both teams also running a Range Blaster, as well as Inkline Stringer, I believe.
Yeah, and notably, instead of the blue Dapple, we were seeing the pink Dapple, so no Reef Sliders for this game, sadly. But now both these teams trying to approach the tower, seeing what's going to be able to happen here. One Wish able to start making their way up there, painting a lot of orange on that mid-section so far here. And it does look like they're going to be able to maybe push up, but not really, as the strikes from Star Guardians of Chaos. Felix, once again, getting something out. Penny going down in the process here in this trench, and not a lot happening. They were going down here, and now 2 down on each side, and One Wish finally taking the tower and getting so far 1 point as they look to potentially try to push this up.
We see a lot of specials come out quickly from Star Guardians, but One Wish did an incredible job at just playing patient and responding in their own way, already getting to the first check with an Inkback on the tower. Azuka coming out, attempting to clear the top right here. Unfortunately not getting any picks, but they make it past this first check with ease.
Yeah, with ease is the very important thing, because you see them, they're going even further here. It's a 3-down situation on Star Guardians, and now the second checkpoint looks like it's going to be absolutely shattered, as One Wish really starting to position themselves well here. I don't know what happened in that break, but they are definitely mentally reset, something in their gameplay, because here we are, not even 90 seconds in, already taking it to the 24, and they still have possession of the tower. Splashdown coming out, and Jules with that Kraken having to force it out, just trying to stop this push early. But a lot of members of One Wish still holding strong, as they still have a numbers advantage, and you do see a disconnect happening.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate for such a strong opening from One Wish. Are they going to play this out?
I think so here, actually.
I think they have to, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. With the rule, they do have...
Okay.
Oh, even better. So I wonder what will be happening here then. So Star Guardians making their way up here now. 2-down situation from the side of One Wish. We're in this first checkpoint now from Star Guardians. Splashdown coming out though. Trying to stall it out, but that tower's still going.
Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what exactly One Wish can do here now. Down a member. The Brella dives on this tower, unfortunately gets taken down. The Doolies as well, diving for this tower. They take on 1v2 and get a little bit of help with it, as One Wish manages to kill 2 of them and push back into mid here, holding their lead.
Yeah, strong at team fight win, despite being down a member like for the rest of the game. But One Wish holding off very strong here, not losing control of that lead. And Star Guardians of Chaos, they still have to break another check before even getting an attempt to break through at the lead. We are less than 2 minutes now into this game. Tactical coming out from One Wish, and they got one stand potentially here. They're going to make this happen. Just a strong defensive hold for them is all they're going to need to do. Just hold it down for this last like 2 minutes or so and see what they're going to be able to do with Star Guardians of Chaos once again with that tower, trying to see if they can keep it moving.
We see Star Guardians has a lot of ways that they can take this lead back. They have chumps with lots of AoE. They have the strikes coming out right now, taking so much space. They even have beacons from their Dapple as well. But once again, One Wish just holds. They don't let them get through this check. And they manage to wipe them. One Wish doing an incredible job here.
Yeah, you can't tell that they're playing with a member down at this point. Another, as Penny responds here with a pick of their own. 2 down from the side of One Wish here, but we're at the last minute now. And this is going to be a very interesting ending to see. Tactical coming out from Star Guardians of Chaos, trying to see if they can get this win here. And now bring it out and get that 3-1 lead. The Trump's coming out now for here. One Wish now trying to respond, not having any specials or resources in play though, as they're basically one member up at this point, and Star Guardians of Chaos with a delayed wipe. They're at that second check, and it looks like they're going to be able to break it.
Unfortunately, no longer looking good for One Wish, as the combo of the Trumps, the Kraken, and the Strikes are enough for Star Guardian to finally take this lead.
Yeah, it's enough for them to take the lead here, and maybe looking to potentially knock it out, but doesn't look like they might be able to do so just yet. You see that One Wish not having a lot of members up is going to be very difficult. Just their 10th umbrella up in these last 10 seconds or so, and it does look like the Star Guardians of Chaos should be able to hold on here, barring anything happening, but it does look like, yeah, with the tower being in blue, Star Guardians of Chaos takes the win.
And honestly, strong showing from One Wish. Unfortunate DC, but the tenacity to keep playing, keep pushing, keep holding that lead as long as they did. Unfortunately, the amount of AoE from Star Guardian was just too much. They had the Chumps come out, the Strikes, the Kraken, the Blaster itself, and they were able to get that lead and win this game to go up 3-1.
Yeah, going up 3-1 is big in the best-of-9 set, just getting any advantage you can, especially when you look at how One Wish is playing. Like, as unfortunate as it was to have a member DC, they also showed that when they have their team available and already, they are doing amazing work. You saw that opening push from One Wish, and they just took such a big lead there. Really made it look like that up until that last minute or two. It looked like One Wish was going to be able to do it there, just being able to hold on, because they're playing incredibly well at this point. And now, if they're able to just have all four, they can't be counted out just yet.
For sure, I think the resilience and the tenacity to hold their lead as long as they did, a man down. I think One Wish, despite being down in this set, has proven that they are not a team to laugh at. They are here to play. They're going to play through unfortunate circumstances, and I don't think that for Star Guardians, I think they still gotta be a bit careful with One Wish.
Yeah, I think if you're Star Guardians, that's actually getting that win, of course, massive here, but you do have to wonder for Star Guardians of Chaos SGC, how does that affect them here? They know they did, it wasn't a convincing win up until the end, and before that disconnect, they were losing that game. You saw how explosive One Wish had it, but going now into Clan Blitz, you saw this is where Star Guardians of Chaos really shined in game one, and you saw them really establish that defense and then use that defense transition into offense very seamlessly. So going into Crab Leg, this is probably what you want here if you're SGC, especially now knowing you're only 2 games away from punching your ticket into semifinals.
For sure, they opened strong in that first game. We saw Star Guardians, once they got a push going, it did not stop. And once they were pushed on, their defense was so strong, able to shut down One Wish very quickly in that Mako Clan Blitz game. Very curious to see, especially on Crab Leg, one of those kinds of maps where once you get in, it's hard to get the other team out.
Oh, that is very true. Yeah, so on this where it's it's map where if a team has just that great positioning, it's hard for the defending team to just push them out. And I think that's going to be interesting here for both teams, because you saw One Wish. They did exactly that in Barnacle and Dime, showed that they're very capable of doing so. They had glimpses of it in the first minute in the last game too. And Star Guardians, while they do have that strong defense that's really shined in a mode like Clan Blitz, it's now seeing if they're going to be able to keep that pressure up. They have the lead here going into this game 5. Let's see what's going to be happening now from both teams, as I do think Shadow might be Shadow's debut here in this set from the side of SGC.
So. And we see a Neo Machine and an E-Leader come out from the side of Star Guardians, whereas the Tetras and the Tenebrella both make a return from One Wish.
Yeah, some interesting weapons coming out here. You do see that these teams fighting it off in mid, just trying to establish this big neutral game at this point. Star Guardians of Chaos is going to lose 2 members in the process, though. Paper now trying to find a 3rd pick here. Now with that Sense Umbrella, having that back. Also trying to find the next pick onto the E leader, and this is looking good so far for One Wish. Having that Tactical Cooler in play. They don't have a power clam just yet, but that back is going to help out, and now they have that first push once again and have struck first.
A nice delayed wipe on opening into an ink back, able to get the ball in, able to get a couple more clams in. But as we see, Star Guardians, they're not holding back on their defense. They're able to push them out, able to take back their plat, and long enough to get that basket closed. I'm very curious to see how they will react here.
Yeah, the response from SGC will be big. You see that the crowd tank is in play, trying to paint off mid, trying to secure some picks. Not able to do so yet, but look at the clams. One Wish has another power clam ready, and there's quite a few clips. The clam economy is completely in favor of One Wish, 17-5 at the moment. Cray is trying to find a pick up on top here, top mid, getting Cloud in the trade, but then back play coming out once again, but there's a shutdown here on defense as Star Guardians of Chaos able to hold off on a big push potentially for now, but Paper takes the clam, able to break the basket open once again, and we'll see if One Wish is going to be able to respond. And look, multiple members of SGC going down.
Paper doing such a great job to get in with that big shield to hold space with their back, but we see the leader getting a couple of picks here, able to quickly shut down that push as they didn't get too many more points on the board.
Yeah, that's only a 3 points really that they got from One Wish, despite having a power clamp again pretty early. You saw Star Guardians Chaos showing that defensive fortitude, their forte, just being able to stop any push. But once again, One Wish with an opportunity to potentially strike here with a numbers advantage, while Star Guardians of Chaos really struggling to take control of mid at the moment. Wavebreaker coming out now, and we're going to see if SGC is going to be able to do anything here. Felix trying to stay alive, as you see a couple members of their team going down in the process, trying to get a pick, get one on the milk before going down here as well. But One Wish looking up to potentially make something happen once again with half the game still left in play.
And once again, Paper just being the star of the show for One Wish here, able to hold space, able to get good picks. Unfortunately, goes down to a bomb here from the Crab edit as they, Star Guardians, finally moving forward, grabbing space, using this Crab to really push them back.
Yeah, and then Zuka coming out there from Cloud, trying to find those picks. Wasn't able to do so here. Freya trying to find something going. You do see the Shadow with that power clam, able to move their way in. Milk's now the only one up for now. They're getting those big picks, showing that One Wish still has defense of their own and is doing very well here. Keeping that basket open for just a bit longer, but it looks like it's going to close as One Wish still holds strong.
You see their cooler coming out once again. Paper just holding space, painting as much as they can. The Crab edit doing a great job at getting a huge pick here. Holding space on these grates like it's nothing. It's incredible. You see Azuka come out here, a little fight down on the bottom right. As once again they have a Crab ready to go. But this back comes out, taking all of the space back for One Wish. Getting a pick as well.
Yeah, that's a huge pick right here. Trades are really important, even for One Wish, just being able to stall out. And now you see the SGC, they have that power clam ready, and then Cramp getting 2 off with this crab thing before getting shut down in the process. A jump coming in, it looks like, as well here. So maybe something in the process of having Clam is going to be able to, and that's the lead being switched as Star Guardians of Chaos takes the lead. They go 3 down in the process, but they have been able to at least establish something here as One Wish. Now with the clam basket closing, looks like they're trying to establish something of their own with less than a minute to go.
You see Crape here again, holding these grates, using their crab tank to get huge picks to get that lead, just getting incredible picks to hold space for Star Guardians. One Wish has quite a ways to go. It doesn't seem like it, but they have completely lost all of mid here.
Yeah, not only have they lost mid, but they don't have a ton of clams aside from that pity as well. We're approaching the last 15 seconds of regulation here. Cooler in play from One Wish. There's a 2-down situation as well. Milk's now moving up on these grates, trying to position up for a potential push in these last 10. Down to the last 5. You see that there's the Power Clam in play from, I want to say that is Cloud. Paper here with the ink back, trying to take out Shadow. 2 down from the side of Star Guardians. Zuka play coming in. Cloud now having to make their way towards the basket. Now trying to figure it out, but they do get shut down in the process. And Felix holding strong with those strikes. That Power Clam looks like it's going to be gone in just a few moments. And it does look like the Star Guardians of Chaos holds on and goes up 4-1 in the set.
And once again, Star Guardians, they really have shown that despite losing a lead, they are never out of the game. A great job on just fighting back in as hard as they can. A great jump in from Felix, who once again sharks in, gets great picks, and they were able to get a huge lead.
Yeah, there's the fortitude from Star Guardians of Chaos to consistently go down early, but always figure out a way to come back has been very impressive. That's something, the mental game they're showing is something that's very typical of like the mid and higher divs here in Splatoon, being able to respond like, okay, we can figure out a way to get back the lead. And they didn't do it in like multiple pushes right away, but here we are. Now Star Guardians of Chaos, 1 game away from potentially going on into semifinals, and they've been looking strong so far. You've been mentioning it time and time again, but just multiple members of SGC have really just shown why they're doing as well as they are. Kraith, Felix as well, XV, Shadow, just being able to just so many ways to just find these picks. It's just been impressive to watch.
Especially here at the very end here, as One Wish attempts to take this game back in overtime, we see Felix gets a great pick and then uses strikes to stall out this ball so that nobody can pick it up. Just a great heads-up play from Felix.
Yeah, those heads-up plays have been like the name of the game so far, especially for SGC. Felix in particular, being able to do that kind of fast plays, being able to be positioned very well, worked out well for them. But speaking of work out well, Robo Robin Splat Zones is next up. One Wish, their first game win did come off in game 2, which was Splat Zones Barnacle and Dime, and you saw how strong One Wish was on Splat Zones, so they're probably approaching this pretty confident.
Yeah, and we saw, especially in that Barnacle Zones game, there was a Reef Slider coming out from both teams, and this is also a very Reef Slider friendly map mode. But I'm very curious to see if One Wish will be able to take another game off here, as the only game they've won so far has been on Splat Zones.
Yeah, and I do think we are going to be seeing the Reef Sliders come back out here, especially from both teams. Ramen is definitely one of those maps where Reef Slider gets a ton of value, so I would not be surprised to see the Blapple come out, or even like the other potential Reef Slider weapons as well. So I think when we go into this next game, there's definitely going to be a lot of options here. And you saw that we didn't see actually a ton of like back and forth in Splat Zone. So whoever gets this first push might be able to just set up shop and just hold down the zone and really just make the most out of a huge advantage here. Going on now into game 6. So this is going to be fun. One Wish has to win out here to stay alive, and Ludi, Star Guardians of Chaos only needs one more game to seal the deal.
We see a Reef Slider coming out from One Wish, but for the side of Star Guardians, the choice of the Junior instead. I don't believe we've seen a Junior so far.
Yeah, the Junior comes out as well as the vanilla sloshing machine, the Booyah Bomb. Interesting options here. One Wish, you mentioned it, the Dark Tetra coming out here with that Reef Slider as an option. It does lead to One Wish getting some picks. Ardenex, once again, getting able to find off these picks. Star Guardians, though, able to respond here, win the zone, able to get some picks. Strike coming out now as K is painted blue, and SGC takes control of the lead. Cooler in play from One Wish, but now also a bubble actually up from SGC. A lot of fighting happening around mid. This Reef Slider comes up and shows its value with those picks, and the zone flips, but the zone wants to get back into neutral, but One Wish taking back the zone once again.
And just like that, they went from losing the zone to taking down 3, and already they're pushing up here. The Chumps coming up from the side of Star Guardians, hopefully finding some space so that they can get back on the zone. The Stringer gets a nice pick as the bombs come out. A bubble on the side of Star Guardians as well. And honestly, once again, just a great response from this team to push One Wish back.
Yeah, and now One Wish, they had the Tech Core online up in play. The strikes coming out though. One Wish though, having control of the zone, losing it briefly here, able to take it back once again. Paper now trying to find off this pick now. It's here down now. Shadow actually being the one to be taken down. 2 down from the side of SGC. One Wish out of their penalty. Trying to work their way up, trying to position up nicely, and they are doing a very strong job until Star Guardians of Chaos once again taking control of the zone, and it looks like they're going to be able to work their way.
A slider coming out here trying to cap the zone, unfortunately does not able to. Whoa, is not able to do it as Star Guardians goes down 3. Felix jumping out to preserve that special as One Wish, very, very quick always. It's a push right up and hold safe.
Yeah, and you see Paper with that Zuka trying to do what they can here, but the strikes from Star Guardians does push them back a little bit here. Paper and the rest of One Wish are still positioned very nicely, trying to make something happen. The Booyah Bomb coming out from Shadow. It looks like it's going towards the zone. It does secure it here. And now Felix being able to take the pick onto Cloud as well. And now Star Guardians of Chaos are moving their way up. And now they're with 2 down on side of One Wish. SGC is going to work their way out of their penalty once again. And with some big specials online, including that tri-strikes from Felix, it does look like in just a few moments we're going to be seeing a lead change as Star Guardians of Chaos once again has control of the lead.
And right as they take the lead again, going down 3 with just Felix left alive, One Wish is quick to respond, quick to grab the zone. This is an incredibly back and forth game. Both of these teams really fighting. One Wish fighting to stay alive, and Star Guardians fighting to end the set.
Yeah, and now these last 2 minutes are going to be everything here. One Wish has another chance to take control of the lead. It does look like they'll be able to do so, but look at all the specials on live from the side of Star Guardians of Chaos. The Booyah Bomb, I think, got shut down before it was able to come out, but the Trump's now in play, and there's the strikes as well. Not going to be able to be enough just yet, actually, as One Wish still holds control of the zone, and it's massive for them. They have the Zuka online, and they're trying to just keep their tournament hopes alive here. Now, with a member going down in the process, they're trying to take down Felix as well. I hear a Booyah Bomb coming into play. Is it going to be coming in time? It will
They
be as the
capped the
penalty does
zone.
come out.
Star Guardian said, "We're not yet. We want this win."
Oh my god, and One Wish responding, except One Wish getting wiped out. Star Guardians of Chaos now control the zone and able to put position up very nicely here with 1 minute to go.
And with such a big penalty on One Wish now, really, really need to find their way back in. Taking down 2. Azuka coming out looking for a pick as just the Stringer and the Junior are left in the zone to fall back in. Paper once again getting huge picks here, taking a lot of space as One Wish. They want to hold this lead with everything that they have.
Yeah, 40 seconds, they can definitely do so here. It does look like they'll be able to maybe work their way out of their penalty as well. You do see strikes and the Booyah Bomb online from the side of SGC, and the strikes coming out as well here. And now not going to be able to take control of the zone yet either. It does look like maybe One Wish might be able to keep their hopes alive just a bit longer. A Booyah Bomb coming into play as well. The jump in another zone flip to that situation and forcing a jump out as well. Paper going down in the process, and SGC now with the chance to potentially win the game here.
And right before that penalty was over, they managed to use the strikes, the Booyah Bomb, and the Trump. Resetter coming out, trying to cap the zone. But unfortunately, it's not enough. As Felix is the last one left alive, Azuka comes out, and One Wish holds on to win this game.
A massive delayed wipe as One Wish has kept their hopes alive in Ludi. Takes another game here on Splat Zones. We are going to a game 7. Star Guardians of Chaos has to wait just a bit longer here as One Wish isn't going down without a fight. It's been incredible so far. That game was so back and forth. I wasn't even sure who was going to win until the very end.
Such a strong showing from both of these teams, definitely proving why both of them are in the quarterfinals. But One Wish, they held on. They proven that they can, every single time that they lost the zone, they quickly responded, getting it right back like it was nothing.
Yeah, and they did so while losing the lead. You saw One Wish has a tendency to take the lead early, but then Star Guardians of Chaos usually finds their way back into control of the lead, and that's exactly what happened here. SGC did take the lead briefly, and then One Wish, you've been touching on it the entire time, but like they've been able to respond so well, despite losing possession of the zone, and that's great stuff from them. The comeback potential from both these teams has been incredible so far. We're going into Rainmaker Museum, and Rainmaker Scorch was very dramatic, so who knows what this one has in store for us.
For sure, we saw a strong opening right off the beginning in Scorch Rainmaker from One Wish, but Star Guardians, they were so quick to respond, so quick to hold their ground. Very, very curious to see how the opening will impact this game as well.
Yeah, and it's been the theme of this entire set, where the opening basically tells us everything about what's going to be happening here. You saw just these big explosions early on, and then seeing teams then figure out a way to make a comeback. But it's been hard to tell which team is going to respond after that first minute, because really you see these teams like really just make such a great opening statement, and if it's not the opening statement, they make the great counter statement. So it's been great so far. It's been very back and forth, and Rainmaker earlier was incredibly intense. So going into Museum, I'm wondering what we're gonna see, and especially with these teams we've been seeing a lot of weapon variety and even some player swaps, I think. So who knows what we have coming here for us.
Definitely think that we will see an ink vac again, as the ink vac for Star Guardians in the Scorch Rain game was so strong, and I wonder if One Wish will respond with an ink vac of their own in form of the Vanilla Tenebrella.
Oh,
Perhaps learning from
yeah.
the first game.
Oh, true, yeah. I'd be interested to see a VAC, especially here on Museum, where it does get a lot of value in some of these like pushes for the Rainmaker and just trying to get towards that final check, the final goal, and then the check as well. We've seen how the rework on this map has also helped it a bit and made things easier to just get to that first checkpoint. And now this first check, I think, is going to be very telling of what's going to happen here. So, and we've been seeing how the openings from both these teams have been planned out and executed. We're going now here into Game 7, do or die for One Wish again. Star Guardians of Chaos once again trying to seal the deal.
We see a very, very interesting choice come out here with the Undercover Brella. A Reef Slider from both teams, but One Wish has 2 of them.
Yeah, we're seeing there's 3 Reef Sliders on play here. We also see that the Wiper now with the missiles has come into an option as well. So great possibilities here, but Star Guardians of Chaos going 2 down early. One Wish having a Reef Slider coming out now. It looks like it might have gotten a member as well as Ardenex now trying to find something up here. Kratos with that hammer though trying to respond, and it's pick for pick so far, but no one has moved the Rainmaker yet.
And despite a strong opening from One Wish there, Star Guardian held their ground, regaining mid here as Felix once again is taking on so many fights, able to get out of that one alive. A Reef Slider coming up from Paper, taking down the end parry Doolies. But it's Star Guardian who grabs the Rainmaker first, unfortunately goes down, gets wiped.
Yeah, they actually went a few points backwards as well, and this is setting up nicely for One Wish in this situation. Look at that rework, being able to take the jump, but they're not able to get towards check. And now Star Guardian's responding well. I hear another Reef Slider in play, and it does see quite a few jumps coming in. XP2 trying to get out of there, getting back into mid, but actually not able to do anything at that point, sadly, as it does look like One Wish still able to hold on for now and maybe look to get a chance to run the Rainmaker again.
And despite their strong opening, taking a huge lead here, our Guardians, time and time again, have proven they do not give up. These Dapples continuously grabbing the Rainmaker, pulling it out of harm's way.
Yeah, and this is very intense now. You see Cloud with that Rainmaker now trying to run their way up the ramp, trying to get towards that checkpoint. It does secure it for them as One Wish now has that checkpoint broken and has a bit of leverage here. You see a Reef Slider online once again from the side of One Wish in case they do opt to utilize it here. It does come out, gets shut down early though, so not going to be seeing that. Felix now with those strikes, trying to do what they can to keep a push going, striking up towards mid, trying to get a route for their team, and maybe look for another flank as well as Star Guardians of Chaos trying to make a push of their own.
And Felix just did an incredible job there, just picking off members of their team time and time again, getting their team ready in a position to push and try and take this checkpoint. Felix once again is coming in, taking down the edit, no cooler online. for for One Wish, but unfortunately, it's not enough to get the check as One Wish holds on.
Yeah, One Wish
And
holding on is
online.
down. Yeah,
They
it's
got
just
Reef
online.
Slider online as well.
I've been seeing so many Reef Sliders here with 3 of
I'm
them
very
in
happy
this
about
game.
this. I'm very
I would
happy about
imagine.
this.
Yeah, it's working for One Wish. Those double Reef Sliders, it's working somehow, and it's working. I won't question it anymore here. They go 3 down the process, and they get a wipe, actually. SGC now with a chance to potentially do something here, but not really in a great position to do so just yet. But now, Reef Slider now from SGC, looking to see if they're going to be able to make anything off of it.
And honestly, what's stronger than one Reef Slider? 2 Reef Sliders.
That's so true.
One Wish has done a great job at just utilizing these sliders. Paper getting a great trade down there on Felix, who's proven to be a huge threat to them, as they just hold mid here. One Wish just not letting Star Guardians get any further than 65, but Penny getting a great double, holding flat as they get a wipe, finally able to take this checkpoint and looking to take the lead.
Yeah, and that's going to lead to the lead change here. And look, a Reef Slider from Penny coming up. Might have gotten at least another member off as well here. And now SGC in the final minute now has a bit of a lead to work with here. Not a big lead. And you saw that One Wish has been in control a lot. One Reef Slider in play. Missiles also online. You see Felix sharking here. Now popping those strikes. Trying to see what they can do here in these last 50 seconds or so. And you see what's going to be happening now. 45 seconds. Reef Slider and missiles in play.
Great combo from the Reef Slider and the missiles there. Unfortunately, Penny falls off fighting Paper there, as Paper plus the power of the missiles able to get some great picks, as One Wish is looking to try and find a way to get this lead back.
Yeah, and now this is the last 20 seconds here, and another wipe. SGC looking to potentially seal the deal here. Not picking up the Rainmaker, trying to just do what they can just to force One Wish into a defensive stance here. And it does look like with 10 seconds ago, one member going down. Penny really starting to go off in this game. And multiple members down, and that's going to potentially be it here as SGC Star Guardians of Chaos have punched their tickets into semifinals of D9A.
Just an incredible showing. They take an early loss to that checkpoint, but they do not give up, getting several wipeouts that game. Not holding back, taking a quick lead and holding it. Felix and Penny both just combined to do an incredible job. Felix getting insane picks, and Penny doing a great job on most of their pushes, just holding forward, picking off huge members for One Wish as Star Guardians. They really... I see why that they have not lost that many games.
Yeah, they've only lost 5 games in Ludi so far this season, which is insane, and you're seeing why. I think the biggest thing here, aside from Penny and doing incredibly well with those Blue Apples, you saw how that changes the game, being able to get those wins and to get those picks. But arguably the most impressive thing from SGC, their ability to come back. We've touched on it multiple times.
Sure.
One Wish gets the lead. SGC's like, it's fine. It doesn't matter if it's right away or if it's near the end of the game. We'll get that lead back. And it's been impressive. And One Wish, with the way they played, that was a very hard-earned victory for Star Guardians of Chaos. And One Wish, despite their season being over, there is nothing to be ashamed of after that performance.
One Wish certainly had a strong showing, an unfortunate DC, but that is going to be it for this set. I have been Melomania. You can find me on Twitter. I do things, I draw things, I do comp stuff, and I'll let Spicy handle your own plug.
I'm Spicy. Pleasure commentating with you, Melomania. You can find me on Twitter at 2SpicyBM and twitch.tv/spicy_BM. We're going to throw it back over to our great stream host, We Like Rice.
Oh yeah, and that will be our last set for today. I believe we do have another broadcast coming up tomorrow with more Ludi playoffs. If anyone is interested in getting more of their sets streamed, if you're in Ludi playoffs, feel free to join the SplatoonTourney Discord server. I think you can find it somewhere in the chat. Oh, actually, it's right here. You can find that here. I have been your host today, We Like Rice. You can find me everywhere. at We Like Rice. But yes, that will be the end of our Ludi matches today, but we will have more tomorrow. Thank you everyone for coming out and watching, and we'll see you guys in the next broadcast.